You are watching SWAC football presented by Pepsi. And today it's the Grambling Tigers in their home opener as they square off against Florida Memorial, a team that comes in with a 1-1 record. Hello, everyone. I am Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas, and we're very excited to be here for this game today. Of course, as I said, coming in Florida Memorial 1-1, the Grambling Tigers 0-2. That's coming off of a big challenge last week against LSU, but they feel like they've gotten all the kinks worked out.
Yeah, and what they were working out truly was communication on the back end of their defense, letting people know where they are, making sure they're in the right coverage. They feel like they've cleaned that up a bit.
Now, there are a couple outstanding players you may want to keep an eye on this afternoon. We're going to start first with the visitors from Florida Memorial. See number 1 on your screen? That is George Young. He is an outstanding running back. He can really do it all. He had 4 TDs for the season so far.
Yeah, 32 carries, 253 yards. That's getting it done. He wears number 1 because he's the one.
Yeah. 3 of those touchdowns came last week in action, so he's kind of going through a hot streak right now. On the other side, for the Grambling Tigers, well, we have another running back that's off to a fine start this year. That would be Chance Williams, number 2. He went back to his home city, Baton Rouge, to take on the Tigers and ran for 106 yards.
I'll tell you, on just 7 carries, that's what's special about it. 15.1 yard average. He is electric, has great vision, and again, you can see what he does here. Stops on a dime and turns against LSU. He's ready to even do more today.
We are just about ready for action over at Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium. Let's start with the keys to the game, brought to you by GM, because we expect a big game this afternoon.
Yeah, and Florida Memorial, the big key for them is stay fresh. In other words, they got to make sure they rotate guys in and out. Don't get people too tired towards the end of the game. And then also mistake-free. They got to keep the train moving, have long drives, don't do mistakes. That'll mess up your drive.
And how about for the Grambling Tigers? Those keys also presented today by GM.
Yeah, and again, better against pass defense. We talked about that a little bit in the open, is that communication is key. They feel like they've got that lined up. They can't let guys run free. Defense, got to handle that. And then Sonny Anderson, he's got to play like a pro, and I saw him already running around, getting his team going, motivating them, so it looks like they're ready to go.
Tigers come in 0-2, but it's their home opener, and it's the first ever meeting against Florida Memorial, an NAIA Division I opponent, but they've shown they can move the football this year.
Yeah, their offense is no joke, right? They can do things. They got a good running game, some good balance, and they're going to try to do that again today. Of course, their challenge against Grambling will be tough.
And SWAC football is underway in Grambling, Louisiana. The Tigers from Grambling taking on the Lions from Florida A&M, and the kickback does not go very far. A good job by the Grambling Tigers covering that kick.
Yeah, the Tigers, you know, they always say special teams can set the tone, and that's exactly what they do on the kickoff.
Let's check out our impact players right now, presented by GM, proud sponsor of the SWAC.
We'll start on the Florida Memorial side, and George Young, the running back, he is a guy who'll make Markel Lee, for Florida Memorial, and Deshaun Davis. From Grambling side, Miles Crawley and Nori Johnson. Miles Crawley's got to get that offense rolling early for the Tigers.
Yeah, those are some guys we definitely need to keep an eye on today. Starting at quarterback, number 3, Saquon Smith for the Lions. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, and he gives it straight ahead to Young, and the Grambling Tigers are tough up the middle.
Yeah, Sonny coming off the edge there, absolutely exploding. You know, we talked just a second ago, he's got to play like a pro, and that's exactly what he's doing. You can see his explosiveness coming off that edge.
Sundiata Anderson, of course, a senior this year. He put on like 25 pounds in the offseason. Coach was telling him, hey, man, if you want to play on the next level, you got to have the weight, you got to have the body, and you got to have the motor. And they said his motor is nonstop on defense. So make it second down coming up now and 8 yards to go. So he got 2 yards on that run. Smith looking to pass, and now he's going to be pulled down in the backfield. Tigers with a lot of pressure. Lane Lewis was there, and he got some help from his friends.
Yeah, and really that play started with the Tigers for Sundiata Anderson again coming off the edge, which forced the quarterback to step up, and then the rest of his friends are there, to clean it up.
So now that's going to bring up a big third down. 3rd and 8, no gain on the play, so it did not go down as a sack, but a big down now for the Lions. We mentioned Saquon Smith started at quarterback. He has 3 wide receivers out to his left. Single receiver down on the right side. Smith still trying to get the defense called.
He's calling, so he's nervous.
Got to watch the play clock, and there it took too much time. So the penalty will go against the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 plays, he's had so much pressure against him, right? Right there, he's like, no, we got to make sure. He wanted to make sure that blocking scheme was set up. Looks like they called a timeout.
So that penalty, maybe it was a timeout to keep from getting the penalty on the play by Florida Memorial.
Yeah, and again, as a quarterback, you know, the first thing you need to do is make sure your linemen understand the coverage right there. He thinks he saw something his center didn't see, so he walked up again to point that out.
Let's talk now about the 2 head coaches for the 2 teams today. As you watch the Grambling Tigers there as they huddle up, their head coach you may be familiar with, Hugh Jackson. He's in his 2nd season with the Tigers, but he's a former Raiders and Cleveland Browns coach, so he has a lot of that NFL experience, more than 35 years of coaching, and he's determined to turn this program around at Grambling. I said, Coach, what'd you do fun for vacation this year? I work to get better. I work to get better. I mean, so he's after it, man. He's getting after it.
I love because he understands the heritage of Grambling, and he's all about getting it back to its greatness.
3rd and long. Smith throws near the sideline. It's going to be low, and it's an incomplete pass. So the first possession for the Lions, they will go 3 and out, and the Tigers will receive the punt and start on offense.
And you can tell the demeanor of Grambling right now defensively is attack, 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 because they are coming at them. And really what's impressive, it's just line stunts. It's not, they're not bringing extra people. They're doing it with their 5 up front.
So the punter coming on for the Lions will be Serge Champagne. He's number 99. And if 99 seems to be a weird number for a punter, he's kind of a big fella too, because he plays on the defensive line. So he gets his kick away. It sails deep. And here come the Tigers on the return. It's a big return. And Grambling's going to take over in great field position.
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, when your special teams are special, that helps out your entire team. Looks like not Nigel Lehner, I guess, on the return there. No, T. Henry.
So the Tigers will start 1st and 10 from great field position. Trent Henry on the return, the defensive back for the Tigers. But there was a flag on the play, and it goes against the return team. So the Tigers are going to lose some of the run back on that fine return.
Yeah, but the good news is they're right at midfield still. So they've got they certainly are in good shape as far as the field position. We'll see what they can do with it.
So this will give us our first look at Miles Crawley. And if that name sounds familiar, he's been around the SWAC for a while. He's the starting quarterback for Grambling, but for the last 2 years, he was the starter at Alabama State. And he starts with a handoff to Chance Williams. And Williams, behind that big offensive line, is going to pick up close to a first down. That's going to be 9 yards on his first carry.
You know what I like about that particular run? We saw the highlights with him and LSU, and it was electric. It was moving in and out, darting in open holes, right? Right there, it showed his power. I mean, that was just power running right there, and you're right, getting right behind his lineman.
And now we have another whistle on the field. It's marked as 2nd and 1 for the first down for the Tigers from Grambling.
I'm not sure what procedure problem they had before they even went up to the line of scrimmage. Maybe they had too many people in the huddle. I couldn't see that running off the sidelines, but they lost 5 there.
Scoreboard still says 2nd and 1 for the Tigers. Now it's 6 yards to go after the penalty. Handoff goes to Chance Williams then again, and this time he's taken down quickly. Big number 90, Limroy Lawrence, there to help out on the tackle. So Tigers from Grambling trying to go fast now.
Yeah, they tell him, stay out there, Mr. Electricity.
Chance Williams still on the field, split out wide. Empty backfield for the Tigers. Crawley will throw on the slant. Has his man. It's a completed pass to Antonio Jones. And we will see where they spot it, because it will depend on the spot he's going to be. Looks like he might be a little short. Let's see.
I don't know. That's going to be close. You're right, Rich. But I'll tell you what Jones did a good job is the way first down. He did a good job of coming back to that ball and catching on the outside shoulder.
Crawley with the quick pass that time, got it out quickly, and the Tigers picked up the first down. So the drive will continue. Crawley to throw again. Comes back to the top of the screen, and his receiver slipped down on the play. That was Javon Robinson, and he may have had some room to go on the inside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's mad at himself because he cut off that inside foot and kind of just lost his footing there. He had some more room there to go.
Second down now for the Tigers. They put a man in motion, and that may be legal motion there because there was a lot of movement going on the offensive side for the Grambling Tigers.
You know, I don't care what football team you are, you can't have mental errors.
Yeah, and you can tell Hugh Jackson is not happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't, the problem is you just can't keep overcoming mental errors over and over and over. You've got to get, you know, and again, for a coach, it's like, hey, we practiced this. What's going on, right?
So it'll bring up second down now and 15 yards to go for the first down. Crawley will dump it off underneath, and they have nowhere to go. It's to Robinson again, and look at the response from the defense by Florida Memorial.
Yeah, Darius Conley, the defensive back for Florida Memorial, did an absolute great job. He read that play. He knew it was coming, and he stifled it, and the rest of his teammates came to help out.
So Grambling now with a third down and long to go for Crawley. In the pocket, steps up, has a beautiful pocket, and completes this pass. A nice catch inside again by number 11. That is Nashawn Dickerson. He had a big game against LSU. Played a fine game and is carrying it over into today.
Yeah, he throws a rifle here. Look at him. When he steps up, he sees it. He just lasers it in there. Good job. Not long enough for a first down. Let's see if they go for it on fourth here.
Fourth down and 5 to go for the Grambling Tigers. So they're not playing around today. They're going for it on their first possession. Tigers come into this game 0-2, so they're trying to make something happen. Crawley has some time. Fires near the sideline. What a great catch over there. And that's going to be a first down for the Tigers if he's in bounds. Let's see what the officials say. They're going to talk about it. And now they say he's out of bounds. That was Josh Quiet with what appeared to be a great catch near the sideline, but the officials come over and said, no, he was not in bounds.
Wow, you know, I mean, that would have been an absolutely fabulous catch there. Because what he did great was, and again, his hands came back to that ball for a great catch.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson wants an explanation. He thought he was in bounds. We'll take a look at that when we come back, but let's pause for a timeout now. No score in the first quarter.
Cool pants. Cool pants.
Love to hear it. Hard to own it. The overthinking begins and bingo bango. You know what? Just own it. Thanks. They're Old Navy.
Brilliant.
Take a look at this heart. It's the one I'm gonna use to love you.
When it comes to buying a car, no surprises are good surprises. Kelley Blue Book My Wallet is a virtual wallet that powers a personalized car shopping experience, providing cars within your budget, estimated monthly payments, and financing options based on your information wherever you search, like your down payment amount and other details specific to you. No frustrations, no surprises, from the name you know and trust. Use Kelley Blue Book My Wallet and surprise yourself with tons of options that fit you. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
You look like a flower, so sweet today. You look like a flower, each and every way. You look like a flower.
Etsy has home, style, gifts. Etsy has it.
Remember why you became a nurse? You wanted to help people. And girl, you're just getting started. You know what's next. Getting your graduate degree. That's how you can change this place for the better. For yourself, your patients, the whole community. You want to make change happen? Walden University is all about change. It's time.
Walden University, set a course for change.
SWAC football on ESPN is presented by Pepsi, official partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and by GM, proud sponsor of the SWAC. That last pass was ruled out of bounds right before we took the timeout. Let's take a look, Jorge.
He didn't control it to the ground.
He didn't complete the catch. That's a big play because Josh Quiet actually did a great job of getting his feet down, and the officials were right there on the spot, so they saw when that ball came out, and he didn't control the ball. So let's take another look, but that's a tough break for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, because again, Crowley puts it right where he needs to do, and the receiver does a great job, just can't contain it, because you can see right there, feet down, and in the ground. Back in the day, ground couldn't cause a fumble, but I guess now it can. You got to control it through the ground.
Wow. So that will give the ball back to Florida Memorial for their second possession of the game. And now they're still going to review that play. So how about that? The officials are going to take a look and see. Because he did have possession until he hit the ground. So
right, but nowadays you got to carry it through the ground and show you still have possession. So I don't know how they're going to call that a catch. But I love the effort. Again, from a Grambling standpoint, I think it showed real good guts, going for it on the fourth down. While you didn't make it, I feel like you're still going to get confidence out of the aggressiveness of how they're attacking right now.
I'm watching Lewis Matthews out there. There he is right there. Good catch, guys. I mean, he was having himself a one-man party. He was just dancing away. Of course, he's the leading tackler on the team from last season, came into this game with 13 tackles, and he's just the man out there on defense. I mean, he's a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, and 6 of them solo. He can certainly tackle. Right there. Look, I love the way, any receiver needs to know your hands have to come back to the ball to catch it. Guys who try to catch it in the body, it's just not, that doesn't work long term. It just doesn't.
Well, he had it for a little bit there.
Yeah, he did.
Let's see what the officials think about this.
I would believe they're going to say it's a no catch, but great effort. Although they're clapping, so maybe they got the ball.
Well, he did possess the football, and it did not come out really until after he was on the ground. So looking at that replay, I thought it could go either way.
He just said play stands.
Play stands. So after the review, Florida Memorial will keep the football, and the Grambling Tigers go for it on fourth down, and they come up empty. So hey, Saquon Smith enjoying it too, man. These guys are having a great time early in this ball game. The heat hadn't jumped on your back yet, so you got a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think the DJ maybe get credit out there in Grambling.
9:38 to go here in the first quarter. Florida Memorial will take over for the second time. Of course, their head coach is Bobby Rome. He's also in his second year. Lions put a man in motion, and they pass it underneath to Young. Excuse me, not to Young. That was number 2 on the carry that time. Picking up some nice yardage there. Frank Bentley, the wide receiver who came in motion and made the catch. So Bentley is a graduate student from Louisville, Kentucky.
It was a good-looking play, too. I mean, just fluid.
Second down and 2 to go for the Lions, and they go straight ahead, and the first down is going to be picked up by Young. So he takes it straight ahead, picks up the first down. That's their first down of the ballgame.
Yeah, and Young right there just didn't do anything tricky at all. It was just put his head down, find a little bit of hole, and just plow through it. Yeah, there's nothing fancy about that.
This time they go back to Young again. Quick cut, nice spin, and he's into the open field, and a great run right there by George Young, who came into this game averaging almost 8 yards a carry, and you got to look at why right there.
Yeah, that spin move was fantastic. When he filled that pressure right here, finds the opening, and boom, spins right there. At least 2 defenders in his dust, and then shows great acceleration to the outside.
Second team all-conference player for the Lions.
I think he caught the defensive backs off. They weren't expecting him to go anywhere, and they weren't ready.
So they go back to Young again. Nice cut inside. And Coach talked about that great vision that he said he has, but he's also got quick enough feet to where he can hit the hole.
Well, what I like about that particular run, he had an offensive tackle. He was just reading his block. Right, he got right behind him and didn't make the cut till after the tackle.
The big run by George Young was 18 yards, and now we have some movement on the line of scrimmage there, and the flag's going to go down. So he picked up 18 yards on that big run to set up the Lions where they are right now on the football field.
Yeah, you're not doing too bad when your running back's got 7.8 carry early in the game. And again, when you can establish a run, and I talked about it earlier as far as keys to the game, is make sure you don't have any negative plays and you keep the train moving, you keep things rolling. And that's what they're doing. You want to have a drive. They got their first down just a minute ago. First down, and then you just want to keep this train rolling.
So the Lions come back up, second down. Looks like it's 9 yards to go for the first down. Smith will have 3 wide receivers to his right. And the handoff. And a nice gain by Florida Memorial. The Lions doing a great job of moving the ball this time. That was Walter Wilbon on the carry. He's number 9. He's a 5'11", 204-pound junior. He's from Tampa, but played at Ohio University.
Yeah, look at this. Takes the inside, and nothing fancy about it. I mean, just comes right off the edge and gets every yard he can out of to the sideline there.
And once again, it's Wilbon, and this time he's going to be cracked down. And I liked when we talked to Coach Bobby Rome this week, and he talked about his running backs, and he goes, you got George Young, who's pretty shifty, but then you got Walt Wilbon. He's just looking for somebody to hit. I mean, he's just running with power. So a big down now, 2nd and 7 to go for the Lions. They will go with that 1-2 punch for most of the game at running back. Saquon Smith turns, and he gives it off, and not much room inside. The Grambling Tigers respond. They do a great job on that line up front.
Yeah, and talking about those 2 running backs, they're both 5'11", built solid, a little over 200 pounds apiece. So you don't give the Grambling a break when you switch backs out. They still got to handle it with power.
And they've been trying to add more balance to their offense. Of course, last week they had a great week running the football because we saw Young run for 3 touchdowns last week. And on the other side, Wilbon had 2 touchdowns. So the 2 running backs accounted for 5 scores. But here comes a big down. 3rd and 4 to go for the first down. Pump. Didn't throw the football. Now he's going to run with it. Got a hole. He dives forward, and he comes up with a first down. A nice job by Saquon Smith to pick up that first down. The pump faked everybody.
Yeah, it sure did. And then again, a nice cut there down in the middle right there.
Yeah, it made Coach smile when he talked about his running ability. He says this guy can pull it down and make something happen there. One of the Tigers apparently injured on the field.
Well, he stood up, and I don't think they wanted him to stand up because they're holding him up right now. Looks like Marquise, can't tell, he's 29. Christian Williams.
Christian Williams, the defensive back.
Yeah. Because he stood up and they didn't want him to, and they were just kind of holding him there for a minute. He's walking off. Good news is on his own. Well, a little bit of help, but he's certainly carrying his weight.
Let's take another look at the play and see if we can see what happened. The pump fake, and then watch Smith pull it down.
It looks like he got friendly fire there, hit by his other defender going for the tackle there, and got hit in the head, and just enough to kind of tweak him. You know, we used to call it ring your bell, but now they're a lot more careful about it.
And let's hope he'll be okay coming to the sideline. 1st and goal situation now, setting up for the Lions from Florida Memorial, making their first trip to Grambling, their first ever game against the Grambling Tigers. Comes back and he hands off straight ahead, and it's Wilbon again, and he's going to push the pile forward only for a couple of yards. You know what's interesting about that is only the 2nd soiree into the SWAC for Florida Memorial. The first one was last year when they played Southern, and the final score there was 86-0. Jaguars won it. So one of the things Coach Rome said, we want to come into this game, we want to play with more confidence, and we want to, you see, we can't do a better job this year.
Yeah, no question about it. And I would say right here, Florida Memorial is going to test that defensive backfield right now, because when you're in the goal line situation, you want to see if there are communications, if Grambling fixed it.
2nd and goal to go now. Smith looking to his left, and the pass is blocked down. A good block by the Grambling Tigers on defense. That was number 98, Jaden Hardy, who got the big hand up.
Yeah, that's just great field awareness right there. I mean, he stays on the outside containment, and as soon as that ball was thrown, he just put that big paw up and knocked it down.
So that's going to set up a big situation now for the Lions. You hate to get down in the red zone and not cash it in for some point somewhere. So a big 3rd down play, 3rd and goal. Walter Wilbon still in the backfield to Smith's right. And Smith is going to pass. Fires into the end zone and is tipped away. A fine play by Cedric Anderson, who got his hands on it and knocked that one away for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, he was in great position, and again, he attacked the ball in the air, made sure it didn't get to that receiver, knocking it away with no harm.
Cedric Anderson, a big 6'4", 200-pounder. He's a graduate student, actually transferred in from Northwestern State. And boy, the Grambling Tigers were happy to have him. So that will bring on Serge Champagne.
Big 99
yeah,
as a
he's
kicker. That is
6'3", 270 pounds. As I mentioned before, he also plays on the defensive line, and he punched that one through. Wasn't the prettiest kick you will ever see, but very, very effective. And it goes in to put Florida Memorial ahead 3-0. We have 4:37 to go here in the first quarter. We're going to take a timeout and be back in just a minute.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Doritos created Solid Black in 2021 to help fuel the initiatives of Black leaders seeking to drive real change. And this year, Doritos Solid Black is welcoming 16 new change makers to the program. We are Solid Black.
Huge play coming up.
Talking about dropping the ball.
I got the score.
Tostitos Hardy Dippers.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
In 1920, an athletic league was formed and slowly became one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Today, the SWAC is looking towards the next century, growing, supporting, and transforming our intercollegiate sports activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence. Each SWAC member institution represents a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas with you as the Lions from Florida Memorial have just taken a 3-0 lead early versus the Grambling Tigers. In Grambling, the first home game of the year for the Grambling Tigers. That last drive led to the field goal. 12 plays. It covered 58 yards. It took them 5 minutes and 15 seconds before Serge Champagne came on and hit the attempt from 16 yards. And it was a good field goal to put the Lions up 3-0. And now you will see Walt Wilbon, who's also the running back. He'll kick it off for the Lions. Sends it deep. And it'll be returned from the 10-yard line. Here come the Tigers. got some room to go, and finally he's going to be pulled down just shy of the 40-yard line. That is Joshua Johnson doing a great job on the return.
Yeah, that was great blocking by his return team. And I guarantee it, when they look back when they're looking things over, he's going to say, man, I could have gotten more out of that, right? But good job by the special teams.
The Grambling Tigers operating with a new offensive coordinator this year. He's Tony Hull. It's his first year. And I asked Coach this week when we were talking to him, I said, what put Tony over the top with the job as the Tigers start 1st and 10, and they go to the run again. And the handoff goes straight ahead to Chalk, it appears. He's going to pick up about 4 or 5 inside. But I said, what gave Tony the edge when you talk about things? He said, the thing about it is he meshed very well with me, is what Coach Jackson said. He said, I'm the head coach. I have to be the administrator, but I still want to be a part of the offense. And he found the right guy that would mesh with his style, and that's why Tony Hull is calling the plays for the Grambling Tigers. So they go back to Falk, caught in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped. A great job by that defense from Florida Memorial. Just some gang tackling going on there.
Yeah, they were all over it. Charles Phillips was one of them right there. He's the one that stopped it. It's one of those things. Good tackling teams do what? You got one guy that makes sure he slows them down. Everybody else come to finish it up, and that's exactly what happened.
Crawley comes into this game 4th in the SWAC in passing. So far he came in. He had completed enough for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns, and here he is. He's going to put this one in the air, or at least try to. Throws it out near the sideline, has a man, caught, slips a tackle, dives over the 50, and a nice job right there by Javon Robinson, who's been a big part of this offense so far as he picked up the first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, when you're throwing from the wide side back to the other side of the field, the problem with those passes is it takes so long for that ball to get there. You got a defender that can jump in front of it, and then usually by the time your receiver catches it, doesn't have time to move.
Tigers going quickly now, back to the line of scrimmage. Go back to the run. It's Falk, and he goes up the middle with some power, and look at Falk. Chalk. Floyd Chalk continues to run the ball with power and authority there.
He was running mad is what he was. I'll tell you, man. I mean, that with bad intentions.
And it's Floyd Chalk again from Mission Hills, California on the carry. He's only 5'9", about 180, but he packs a load, as you saw there on that last carry.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a running back run mad, I mean, that's just nothing like it, because it's reckless, and as a defender, you've got to bring it.
And we have a timeout on the field because one of the Lions is down and injured on the play. With the score 3-0 here in the first quarter, 2:22 to go, we're going to pause for another timeout.
Cool pants.
Love to hear it. Hard to own it. The overthinking begins and bingo bango. You know what? Just own it. Thanks. They're Old Navy.
Brilliant.
When it comes to buying a car, no surprises are good surprises. Kelley Blue Book My Wallet is a virtual wallet that powers a personalized car shopping experience, providing cars within your budget, estimated monthly payments, and financing options based on your information wherever you search, like your down payment amount and other details specific to you. No frustrations, no surprises. From the name you know and trust. Use Kelly Blue Book My Wallet and surprise yourself with tons of options that fit you. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
I'm gonna walk you through everything I eat in a day. Not today, sis. With Noom, you don't have to give up the foods you love to reach your goal weight. For example, unless you plan on orbiting Earth.
The Grambling Tigers on a drive. They come back, gives the football to Chance Williams. He goes off tackle and a flag comes down. But a nice game by Chance Williams as he takes it for about 6 yards. But we will see what the flag is. Our referee, Jarvis Walker, has been busy so far in this ball game.
Yeah, not a mistake-free game by either team for that matter. Not sure what you'll find here. Maybe it's against Florida Memorial because they're marking it off. Not sure what the call is. Looks like a 15-yard variety, so it must be a face mask of some sort. Yeah, face mask or something.
So first down, and after the penalty, that's going to set the Tigers up in great field position. They're definitely in the red zone now. Crawley back to pass. Fires, and he bounces it into his would-be receiver there. It's going to go down as an incomplete pass. Was trying to get it over to Nashawn Dickerson, but the pass was low. 1:49 to go here in the first quarter. Tigers with their first real serious threat of the first quarter.
Yeah, they've been moving the ball down the field. They got it in good field position. And now, can they cash in? That's the question.
So Crawley now, after the incomplete pass, turns and he hands it off again. It's going to be his running back, Williams. Williams makes a great move, and Chance Williams is in for the touchdown. How about that move? A little dance, got the hips shaking right there at the end, and he takes it in for the touchdown.
Oh, that was an absolute sweet move. Watch him come around the edge, and he sets up the defender right here. Hey, I'm going to come out inside. No, I'll back outside. And he's got such speed that he just shake the defender right out of his shoes. Great job there. And again, reading his blocks, sets him up, going in. No, I'm not. There it is.
A 17-yard TD run for Chance Williams, who, as we mentioned on the top, had a really good game last week against LSU. And now, apparently, there was a flag down against the Grambling Tigers. And Hugh Jackson will not be very happy with that at all. That's going to wipe a touchdown off the board, and Grambling will have to go back to work with the football. So Crawley comes back, completes it inside to Robinson. Robinson with the speed, and he scores. It's a touchdown to Javon Robinson. So the Tigers come right back after the penalty. They go to the wide receiver screen, and Javon Robinson turned on the Jets, took it in for the touchdown.
Wow, and Javon, you want us to score running or do you want us to score passing, I guess is what Grambling said right there. But Javon did a great job of setting up his blocks. Again, what acceleration he showed right there.
Just great athletic ability. Grambling has several wide receivers that are big, strong, physical guys who can run, and you saw just an example of it right there. So Tanner Rinker will come on to attempt the extra point. And his kick is good. Hooked it right through there. So the Grambling Tigers move out in front 7-3 over Florida Memorial. What do you think about that drive?
I think it's exactly what Grambling needed, right? And again, I think the thing that they're going to certainly, when they look at this game, is the amount of mistakes they've made. It almost cost them a touchdown. And again, this play right here, that was beautiful. Unfortunately, it didn't count. Can't really see where the holding is there. But then they follow it back up with the receiver, Javon, just taking it to the house. And then right there, you see the cut there. And then look, he splits his own team to be able to go into the end zone there. So it's exactly what they needed. They needed to get some positive things rolling. They've got to fix the mistakes.
That's why that play is in the playbooks, because you want the receiver to be able to use his athletic ability, turn on the speed. A 25-yard touchdown pass to Javon Robinson, who took it in, and it was all Javon after he put his hands on that football.
Oh yeah, you could tell he was going. He was like, I'm going to the end zone regardless of what's going on. And again, he has 3 catches now, 40 yards. Crawley, 5 out of 6. 55 yards and now a touchdown.
Grambling crowd up and fired up now. They saw their team finally get some emotion going on, and something happened in there, and all of a sudden Grambling is out in front. 1:34 to go here in the first quarter as Rinker gets set to kick it off back to the Lions. And coming into this game, you know, one of your keys was to talk about whether or not Florida Memorial would be big enough, strong enough to last an entire game. This is going to be the first real test of that after Grambling took it all the way down for the touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have to make sure they're rotating players in and out so they're good for the brevity and length of a game. A lot of times teams from smaller schools have a hard time staying in there when it gets later in the game, third or fourth quarter.
You know, we need to mention while we have an opportunity, Florida Memorial coming into this game, this was kind of a tough week for them. It was a very emotional week. They actually lost one of their teammates, Deron Williams, a running back on the team. He passed away Sunday night. The team met Monday. They talked about it. They decided they wanted to play the game. They wanted to go on and do this anyway, and they decided to dedicate the game to him. And the way Coach explained it to us, he said, we're not trying to win it for him. We just want the effort. We want effort on every play while we're on the field. And so far, we've seen a lot of effort from them.
Oh, no question about it. But, man, your hearts go out to the team, everyone in the university for something like that. When you have a young man pass away for whatever the reasons, it is tough. And again, it brings the reality to these young men, and they are playing super hard for them.
And back to the live action on the field. A big play by the Grambling Tigers. That is Lewis Matthews, who made a stop for no gain and maybe got him in the backfield. He was the leading tackler last year. And he's just, like I said, he has a motor that goes on. It's running on high all the time. That guy is always moving, always doing something.
He read that and said, not today. Not today.
So George Young back in the backfield for the Lions. And the give is to Young, and Young has some room. He goes off tackle, but a nice burst by Young, and he's going to pick up a first down for the Lions.
Yeah, and Sundiata Anderson, he did a great job of turning him in. He was expecting the help, didn't get the help.
We mentioned last week how Florida Memorial had a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield with Young, and there goes Young again trying to get around the corner, could not do it with Young and Wilbon. And both guys are getting the job done again today.
Well, again, they're two really powerful running backs. They've got a great dynamic sense of speed, power. They can do it all. And when one comes out, they're always fresh. They just keep coming at you. And the linemen for Florida Memorial are doing a really good job of engaging and not letting go.
That was Matthews again on the stop for the Grambling defense. Looking at 2nd and 8 now.
They'll let this quarter go.
Yeah, why not? Let the clock tick on down. We come now to the end of the first quarter, and the Grambling Tigers are out in front, 7-0 in their home opener.
I just made this, and it is incredible. I used every plate, and this cost me about the same as a cup of coffee. I'm gonna show you how. So every plate's actually 25% cheaper than grocery shopping, which is awesome, because that means I can save money on food even as food prices go up. And then I love the fact I don't have to worry about overbuying, wasting food, none of that. This is way better than takeout, and you get so much more bang for your buck. Seriously, you gotta try it.
Get started for just $1.49 a meal using offer code EAT49.
Yo, dude, you need some help?
Don't worry about me.
Yo, there's no shame.
You don't know my family, man. My parents or brothers or sisters or cousins ever found out?
Dude, this weight is pretty heavy.
I just need some time and I'll figure it out myself, okay?
Sometimes you just need some help. So if you need therapy, find a licensed therapist at BetterHelp.com.
Did you know you can get someone to shop for you? Stitch Fix really gets me and what I need. Even better, they save me a trip to the mall. It's easy. I share my style, size, and budget, and they do the shopping for me. Stitch Fix sends me things that fit and make me feel like a more stylish version of myself. I keep what works and send back the rest. No subscription required. No commitment, just my style. Stitch Fix.
When I started college, so many people warned me about credit cards. They just seemed really scary. When I needed a car, I realized that I needed to build credit. So I got the Chime Credit Builder card because I could safely build credit without being afraid of fees or interest. And there was no credit check. My score went up over 60 points and I bought my first car. As a busy college student, having a car is an absolute must. I feel like
Welcome back, everyone. We are now in the second quarter. Florida Memorial still on the move with the football. We got a big down coming up now. 3rd and 8 to go for the Lions. So if they're going to keep it going, this is a huge drive for them. Saquon Smith has gone all the way at quarterback today. And Smith will try to pass it on 3rd down. He has some pressure and he throws. And a nice job by the Tigers of breaking that one up. He had the ball on the money, but number 20, Chris Degree, one of the Tigers back there, I think Chris made the play, got a hand on that one and knocked it away.
Again, attack the ball, whatever side you're on, right? When you're a receiver, you got to go out and get it. When you're a defender, you got to go out and get the ball. And the one who attacks the ball the best is going to wind up with it. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's true. When you're running your pattern, if you're waiting for that ball to get there, you're allowing that defender extra inches to be able to knock that ball away or intercept it.
So Trent Henry will go back to return the punt right now for the Grambling Tigers, and the kick is away. Chases him near the sideline, and it's going to be way short. It's going to be down right around the 30-yard line. That is where Grambling will take over the football and go back on offense. If you're just joining us, Jorge Vargas and Butch Alcindor here. We have 14:02 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a pretty good battle between both these teams going at it. And again, Grambling, that last drive gave them a lot of momentum. Let's see in this drive, can they keep that momentum? It's kind of sustained. Can you sustain drives after drives?
So far for Grambling, Miles Crawley has gone all the way, 5 of 6 for 55 yards and a touchdown. He got a touchdown on that wide receiver screen play there that Javon Robinson turned into a 25-yard touchdown.
Yeah, 2 executed plays. Obviously, one had a flag, and they backed it up with another touchdown. That's great when you can pull another play out of the playbook and then just score again. So, and again, that helped with mistakes. You've got to alleviate mistakes.
Coach Jackson said he really liked the job Crawley was doing as far as protecting the football and giving his playmakers a chance to make plays, and we saw that on that last touchdown drive. He did a great job with that. So the Grambling Tigers take over 1st and 10. The football resting on the 30-yard line. Crawley to throw it. Has some pressure. Dumps it underneath, and a big play by the defense. Deshaun Davis, one of the top defensive players, their leading tackler over there for the Lions, made the stop.
Yeah, that linebacker, he closed on the ball. He saw it right there, then he just came hard. And again, great job holding on to that ball when you're getting hit like that. And one thing for a receiver, you might as well catch it because you're going to get hit.
So 2nd down coming up for the Tigers. Crawley looking downfield, has a man out there, and he barely overshot him. But he had a man with a couple of steps. That was Robinson. He's already had a big gain, and he almost added to his big day on that play.
Yeah, he was cooking, and he saw it, but just a little bit too much. I thought he had just enough air on it for him to be able to make adjustments, but it was just too strong. What an arm by Crawley, though.
Yeah, he'd love to have that one back, though. He just needed a little more air underneath that football to float it out there. So it's going to bring up 3rd down now for the Tigers from Grambling. Crawley steps up in the pocket, throws near the sidelines. It's caught. High pass, but it's caught and stepped out of bounds with the 1st down is J.R. Waters for Grambling.
Yeah, it's a good job of knowing where the sticks are, getting ahead of it, and just getting your first down. And again, that's his third progression. He was looking to the left big time. Nothing was there, so he dumped it back off and got his first down.
Did a great job of communicating with Waters, who, by the way, came over. He's a transfer, played at Oregon for a little bit, also played at Southern Utah. He's got some college football experience. When you talk about that, and I know you heard when Coach Jackson mentioned that, the Grambling Tigers have turned over 70% of the roster. They had like 33 new players come in off the portal this year. The portal in high school and everything together.
I was going to say, the portal is it's changed how you have to coach and the continuity of your team. You have to get it together very fast.
1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they go to the handoff, and that's going to be Elder dropped in the backfield. Keelan Elder was taken down for a loss on the play.
Charles Phillips there. He was right on top of him.
Charles Phillips, the linebacker, 6 foot, 225 pounder. He's a freshman. So an empty backfield now for Crawley. Throws it, completes his pass. Nice job down the sideline. The receiver still on his feet. That is Tylen Williams with a big game for the Grambling Tigers, and one of the Lions is down.
Well, he was just exploding. He did not want to go down. He was spinning, accelerating all the way through.
So the snap, and they go to the run. It's Elder again. He's the 3rd running back we've seen in today for the Tigers.
And again, this is what I call, you see the opponent kind of getting a little bit weaker, and you just get stronger and faster. And we don't want them to kind of reset. You just keep putting the pressure on.
And we do have a flag down on the field. The officials are going to talk about this one. It's been a good drive for Grambling, and it's like they've just flipped the switch, because all of a sudden Florida Memorial scored first, and then that just got the Grambling Tigers fired up. So the Tigers come back. Nice fake by Crawley, and then he throws it away. Had a man running toward the end zone, but I think he just threw that one away under the pressure.
Yeah, and that was a good job of just throwing it away, because if he'd have tried to do something and got hit, delivering that ball a little bit later, trying to get it in there, something bad could happen. Right there, you just got to get rid of it.
That last penalty was against the defense, so now we're looking at a 3rd and short for the Grambling Tigers. They go to the pitch to Elder. Another flag is down. Elder turns the corner, and he dives out of bounds at around the 4-yard line, but there was another flag thrown down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I wonder if they weren't lined up correctly.
So Jarvis Walker and his crew have been extremely busy early in this ballgame.
Now, this will be the 5th penalty against Grambling, if it's against Grambling. And I guess they picked up the flag, so no.
Good job, man. If there's no penalty, pick it up and let's move on. 1st and 10. Elder on the carry again, and he's in for the Grambling touchdown. Keelan Elder on the carry, and that's just sheer power right there.
Oh, I mean, you talked about it just a minute ago. What I feel changed once Florida Memorial scored, it's like the focus for Grambling changed. They were a little bit more focused and dialed in, and the execution level stepped up. Now they're still having penalties and a little bit of that, but their focus picked up, and you can tell their execution is just so much better.
So Luca Duarte on for the extra point. And his kick goes off. We had a whistle right before the kick. There was a flag down. We will straighten that out. Illegal procedure against Grambling. So we'll talk about that later. Actually, we're going to stay here.
Yeah.
And let's talk about it now. Get the call from Jarvis Walker. Luca Duarte on. He's the kicker for Grambling. So the extra point attempt again. This time it is good, and Duarte does a good job of putting the Tigers out in front 14-3. We'll take that break now. We'll be back with the Tigers in control. 10:56 to go in the second quarter.
join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
In 1920, an athletic league was formed and slowly became one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Today, the SWAC is looking towards the next century, growing, supporting, and transforming our intercollegiate sports activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence. Each SWAC member institution represents a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
And the Grambling Tigers are starting to flex their muscles a little bit in their home opener as they take on Florida Memorial today. The Grambling Tigers now out in front 14-3. And that last scoring drive by the Tigers, 9 plays, it covered 70 yards. It took 3:06 off the clock, and it led to that 4-yard TD run from Keelan Elder as he took it on in. As you see the cheerleaders over there, hope they don't have to do push-ups by the amount of points scored, because they may be in trouble today.
Well, the ROTC was doing the push-ups. They do the dancing. See, they split that work up.
That's a nice split. That's a nice split. Luca Duarte on the kickoff this time. Sends it deep.
So deep we lost it.
And it's out of play there, so the Lions will take over on offense and see if they can't get something going now with 10:54 to go left in the first half.
Now, this is key for them, right? They need another drive like they did earlier on their field goal. They need, what was that, 7 minutes, I believe they took off the clock. It was balanced, and they methodically went down. You know, we talked about earlier, keep the train on the tracks, don't make mistakes, and move the ball down. They're going to try to have a nice long drive to close out, at least to take some time off this half and get some points on. But really, they need a touchdown to make sure they stay in this solid.
Talk a little bit about the job Cedric Thornton has done with that Grambling defense. Last week, their secondary was victimized by LSU, just took advantage of them. And this week, they've made the corrections and got some things going defensively.
Yeah, and it's all about communication and making sure everyone knows who's in the right spot. And what I've seen a lot, Lewis Matthews, their linebacker, has been talking to everyone in this game to make sure they know where they need to be.
So Saquon Smith will try to get it off, but we do have a whistle from the officiating crew as the Lions get set to start in a deep hole, but they're going to have an illegal procedure called. And, of course, when you're starting from your own 5-yard line, you don't have that far to go, really.
And you watch the Grambling will get more aggressive. Now you feel like you've got them on their heels. You're going to come at them. And, again, Jordan Harris, the other linebacker with Lewis Matthews. Watch those two guys. They are talking a lot. They're yelling at their defensive linemen. They're turning around, talking to the DBs, making sure everyone knows where they're at.
So that moves the football back to around the 2-yard line. And Smith will pass it. Throws it near the sidelines, and that might have been picked off by the Grambling Tigers. Chris Degree was right there, and the pass was a little low, but boy, he made a nice attempt. Take another look.
Yeah, the ref looked right at him and said, no, not so fast, my friend. Yeah, he got ground, but boy, what a good job. And again, you're trying to take all the will out of Florida Memorial early in this game. You don't want them to to even get in the flow.
Chris they agree on the coverage from Baton Rouge. Of course, he's a transfer from Alcorn. Saquon Smith at quarterback for the Lions.
Matthews coming off that edge.
Snap is high, but they handled it and caught in the end zone, and he's going to be dropped for a safety. A great job by the Grambling defense.
Jordan Harris.
Boy, they got there in a hurry. Harris led the charge.
Whew. And again, you could tell once it started backing up, Grambling started getting more aggressive. And players, there's nothing on the defensive side of the ball, but you know this, when you have a chance for a safety or you think it's even close, you come that much harder.
So Grambling needed this type of defensive effort today. I mean, they really, Coach felt like they had some things they had to work out from a defensive standpoint. And so far in this game, they have definitely done that.
Watch this one more time. Watch him just coming barreling through, and he grabs him. Big number 98's the one that started the party in the backfield.
Jaden Hardy will be back.
Happiness is different things to different people. That's what happiness is. Happiness is different things to different people.
Etsy has home, style, gifts. Etsy has it.
BetterHelp takes the stigma out of getting counseling.
There's so many people who still have that stigma of going to a physical office or a location to see a therapist.
If I'm a client and I'm looking for help, sometimes it feels like something we should be ashamed of or we shouldn't want others to know.
BetterHelp is important because it reduces the barriers for people getting access to mental health care.
Hercule Poirot, come with me to a seance.
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
Mom, what is happening?
Somebody has been murdered. A ghost killed her. One of you is the killer. No one shall leave until I find her. If the living have been killed by the dead.
You were saying?
A Haunting in Venice, rated PG-13, now playing, only in theaters.
When I started college, so many people warned me about credit cards. They just seemed really scary. When I needed a car, I realized that I needed to build credit. So I got the Chime Credit Builder card because I could safely build credit without being afraid of fees or interest. And there was no credit check. My score went up over 60 points and I bought my first car. As a busy college student, having a car is an absolute must. I feel like I could do anything. My next goal, a 700 credit score. Join me at chime.com.
Well, the Grambling defense dominating so far in the first half versus Florida Memorial today. They just came away with a huge safety as Jaden Hardy broke into the backfield. He grabbed the would-be running back on that play. He couldn't get started. It was Keno Marset. Caught him in the backfield and would not let him go. And as you take a look at some of the game stats right there, you can see it's all starting to go Grambling's way now.
Yeah, 100 in the air. I'm surprised it's just 42 on the ground. I felt like they had run better than that. But again, when you're 158 right now, you're feeling good. Again, penalties is the only bugaboo you see there. 5 for 35 yards, 8 first downs. Now let's see if they can close out and score again here before the half.
So after the safety, Grambling got the kickoff, and here they go, 1st and 10, going deep, and he has his receiver, and it's knocked away. Antonio Jones had his hands on it and couldn't pull it in. Darius Conley back there on the coverage.
Oh, Jones, man, this was a great effort. And you watch him go up. He's bent back just a little bit. That was a hard ball to try to bring in. And again, a great job by Darius Conley knocking that ball away because he put his hand directly on the ball and slapped it away. But Jones did a great job of going up for it.
How about the recovery speed? Looked a little bit like a young Deion Sanders, man. He was beat. He had him beat. The ball was thrown out in front. He just used his speed to catch up. So it all goes down as an incomplete pass, and now we have movement up front. And we got the Lions pointing at the Tigers, saying that it's
Looks like Melvin.
Illegal
Priestley. The one thing I'll give him is if you're going to jump off sides, do it full speed. And that's exactly what he did. There was no flinch there at all. He fired off. Big left tackle there.
So that will back him up 5. The Tigers will go back 5. This time, Crawley with a great fake, and then it goes, a pass is a little too hot, and it goes down as an incomplete pass.
That was an interesting play. I mean, it was a kind of a trap run. He had the option to hand it off or throw. And I think the running lane was clear too, so he had multiple options. But again, like you said, threw it a bit too hard when you got a receiver running full speed, having to reach up that high.
Well, the one thing that Crawley does an excellent job with is that zone read. He's a good ball. When it comes to the ball fake, he is excellent at doing that. He does a great job with that. So that'll bring up 3rd and probably 15 yards to go. Crawley looking downfield, going deep, and he overshoots everybody. The pass is too strong, and it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, tough one. He you could tell he really wants one of them long ones to go in. That one was just a little bit off target.
He's trying to hit Jones again. Antonio Jones, who's, by the way, ranked 3rd in the SWAC in receiving, came into this game with 146 yards.
Yeah, watch him. He sees it. And again, that right there, he just, Jones would have had to run over the defender to get to that one. Good thing it was too far off. Otherwise, it would have been intercepted.
Jimmy Isles will come on to punt it away. The 6-foot, 200-pounder from Australia, the left-footed kicker. Giles takes his time. And a really great kick. Really great kick by Isles.
Way to go, mate.
Yes. So he's going to pin them way, way back as the Lions will start the football. We'll have the football when we come back.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Doritos created Solid Black in 2021 to help fuel the initiatives of Black leaders seeking to drive real change. And this year, Doritos Solid Black is welcoming 16 new change makers to the program. We are Solid Black.
Huge play coming up.
Talking about dropping the ball.
I got the score.
Tostitos Hardy Dippers.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas watching the Grambling Tigers in their home opener. And the G-Men have a 16-3 lead after a safety here in the second quarter has pushed that lead out to 13 points. And Florida Memorial will take over the football. But once again, they are right there under the shadow of their own goal line in that Grambling defense. Not giving up a lot now.
Yeah, I think that's is that Young in there, running back right there. Yeah, well, that's Wilbon. So I was gonna say you have to get Young or Wilbon in there when you're that far deep. You've got a lot more experience. I think that was tough on Marset, who took the safety when you're that far deep. And the first time you get in the game, you're pinned in your own end zone.
It was his first carry of the ball game, so that's always pretty tough to be put in that situation. Another flag on the play, and they may have taken too much time. Let's see what the official, our referee Jarvis Walker, has on that one. And so far in the second quarter, it's just not been a good quarter for Florida Memorial. They've made a lot of mistakes, and maybe fatigue could be a factor in that.
Well, you look at, we talked about Grambling's focus getting so much better after Florida Memorial scored and went up 3-zip, and I think the opposite happened to Florida Memorial. Looks like they lost their
Wilbon breaks it into the secondary, and just like that, Walt Wilbon comes up with a huge run to give the Lions some great field position, and better yet, get them off of their own goal line.
Yeah, change the field position. Again, he just explodes through that hole. It wasn't much of a hole, but he found it, turned up in it.
They go back to the run. Wilbon spins away from one would-be tackler, but he can't get away from Anderson, who's there to put him down. Sonny Anderson up with the big stop.
Yeah, he was like, that's a no-go, my friend. Sundiata just wrapped him up and took him down.
Yeah, he's a preseason all-SWAC selection.
And I'll say he's played like it. He hasn't been on every play, but if you watch him, he's taking on 2 defenders every time, and he's closing the pocket or he's creating opportunities for his teammates.
Lions will try to throw it this time. Smith is flushed from the pocket, still looking downfield, and he has his man, but a good defensive play by the Tigers to break that up.
That was a tough hit. I think it was Frank Bentley there that went up for that ball. And when he landed, the defender lands on top of him. So I guarantee it, he was trying to find this thing called oxygen once he landed right there. See, the whole body just got landed on. It's hard to catch your breath after that.
It's Cedric Anderson with his second big play for the Grambling defense. The other thing, though, was Smith may have floated that ball a little too much. I mean, he kind of hung his receiver out there a little bit. He was open. He didn't see him right away. And a big hit on the play by Cedric Anderson in the Grambling secondary. So on third down, Smith again has to roll to his left. Looking deep down the field, has a receiver, and he puts it right in the basket. A great pass from Smith. Saquon Smith with a beautiful shot downfield.
Yeah, David Studstill, looks like what he did was Smith looked and said, hey, watch here. He's going to go back. He doesn't like the play at first. And when he goes out, he goes, no, go up, go up. And then he connects with him. So he made him change his route, and it worked.
David Studstill is activated for the first time this year. This is his first game of the year, and boy, is he making a big contribution. So Smith, again, steps up in the pocket, turns on the Jets, and he does a great job. Grambling put the pressure on, but Saquon Smith pulled the football down and got as much as he could.
I tell you, I said their focus wasn't quite what it needs to be. Whatever they said on the sidelines before this possession, they found their focus.
Well, that big run by Wilbon lit the fire on this drive with 7:22 to go here in the second quarter. Saquon Smith has gone all the way at quarterback, has 2 wide receivers to his right, turns and hands again, and a good job by Wilbon, who bangs his way forward. And like Coach told us, man, he had never found a defensive guy yet he doesn't like to hit.
It's something, you know. What it looks like to me, what Florida Memorial did is someone on the sideline said, look, let's do what we do. Quit worrying about what they're doing. Let's do what we do, because they've gone back to some hefty running. They brought guys in. They're running traps off the edges, and they're letting their running backs pick their hole.
George Young back in last week, though. Wilbon, 146 and 2 touchdowns. This is Young this time. Around the right side. Flag goes down. Young goes down at the 1-yard line. But we will see who the penalty is against. A nice running play, though, by Florida Memorial.
Big Matthews put the hit on Young, but there's a Grambling player down right now to the side.
And it's coming back. The flag will go against Florida Memorial. And that's tough because they had something going. They had a nice drive going, but that penalty will set them back.
You know, we talked a lot about Grambling's penalties, and Florida Memorial's matching it right now. They have 6 penalties as well. Both teams 6 penalties apiece.
And there's the injured Tiger on the field. Can't see the number, but we're going to take a timeout while they take care of him. And we'll be right back with the Grambling Tigers leading Florida Memorial 16-3.
I avoided credit cards most of my life. But when I started to create a streaming platform for musicians like me, I knew it was important to build my credit to set my business up right. I heard about the Chime Credit Builder Card and I signed up right away. I didn't have to worry about fees, interest, or credit checks. Within a month, my score went up. Now it's up over 100 points. I feel set up for success, and so is my business. I tell everybody about the Chime Credit Builder Card. Here we go. Check it out at chime.com.
Did you know you can get someone to shop for you? Stitch Fix really gets me in what I need. Even better, they save me a trip to the mall. It's easy. I share my style, size, and budget, and they do the shopping for me. Stitch Fix sends me things that fit and make me feel like a more stylish version of myself. I keep what works and send back the rest. No subscription required. No commitment, just my style. Stitch Fix.
I used to get so anxious thinking about feeding our kids because it meant saying goodbye to any free time. But HelloFresh changed everything, and it literally feels like we get 3 extra hours in our life every day.
Everything you need gets delivered right to your door. They have recipes that take 10 minutes. It's much better than takeout, and it's a lot cheaper too.
I couldn't believe it, but our kids love the recipes.
If you want to eat better without spending hours in the kitchen, you got to try it.
Go to HelloFresh.com/GoHulu and use code GoHulu to get this last chance fall offer.
Remember why you became a nurse? You wanted to help people. And girl, you're just getting started. You know what's next. Getting your graduate degree. That's how you can change this place for the better. For yourself, your patients, the whole community. You want to make change happen? Walden University is all about change. It's time.
Walden University. Set a course for change.
Second and 14 now to go for the Lions. After the penalty, after the big run by George Young was called back, so they're in a hole now. Turn, give it to Young again, cuts back inside, and Young is going to get it almost back to the original line of scrimmage. By the way, Jorge, Patrick Marshall, the defensive back for the Grambling Tigers, went off with a little help. Looked like he was just shaken up on the play, so that's always good news.
Yeah, as they were walking him off, he was getting a lot of help early, and then towards the end, he was walking by himself. But, yeah, hopefully he'll be just fine.
So third down now, and it's going to be about 11 yards to go for the first down.
Keno Marset is back in there, running back now. He was the one that took that safety earlier.
Marset, number 4, is to the left. Smith stepping up in the pocket, looking deep over the middle, and he had a man open in the back of the end zone, but the ball came late. He was trying to hit Studstill again, but by the time he found him, the Tigers were playing some really good defense over there. And number 2, Kevin Thomas, the leading tackler, came over and just couldn't get his feet down.
Yeah, I was going to say he thought he had an interception. It was close. Watch him go flying for this, but just too much motion hitting him out of the back of the end zone.
Well, some of these receivers are open. It's just because of the pressure, because Smith is having to move. He's not being able to pick up these guys in rhythm, in the right timing of the play.
Yeah, you got to get them faster because defenders are able to recover quicker. But I think the defensive backs of Grambling are really playing well. Nobody's just left open.
Fourth down now. Man open, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Lions. A great pass by Smith, and he got it over to Frank Bentley, and he takes it in for the touchdown. But a nice job by Smith on fourth down, keeping his composure. That time, he was on time with that pass.
Yeah, and I was just saying, Grambling hasn't left a hole in their defense, and right there, they had a hole, and the Lions found it. And you're right, timing pattern great.
Frank Bentley, the 6'3", 213-pounder from Louisville, Kentucky, hauling in the TD pass, and that will bring on one of our favorite lines. Serge Champagne, 6'3", 270-pounder, is going to attempt this extra point. And it's going to be blocked by the Grambling Tigers. That's still a live ball. You can pick it up and run with it, fellas. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds. So that takes a little bit of the sting away from the touchdown because they do not get the extra point. And something I need to mention about Serge, loves TikTok.
Loves TikTok.
Does all the dances, all 270 pounds of him. He's got, Coach says he may love it too much.
Yeah, I was going to say, he won't be dancing after this one.
Here's another. Nothing he could do about that one. Low kick, but the Tigers got great penetration, and it looked like Lewis Matthews may have been the guy who got his hand up and blocked that one.
Yeah, he went straight up the middle.
It was Matthews or Lane Lewis. Could not get the number clearly there, but a good job by that Grambling defense. You give up a touchdown, and then you come up with a big block on the extra point attempt.
I think you hit it perfect right there. Is that what it does is it allows you to feel some, you gave up a touchdown, but you got a little bit of, all right, well, we stopped that, and now it's a 10-point game, so you're in good shape.
Saquon Smith to Frank Bentley, 21 yards for the touchdown. Extra point attempt is blocked.
But it was a drive that Florida Memorial was looking for. 11 plays, 96 yards. Ending with a touchdown. We talked about that's what they needed as they were moving forward, and that's exactly what they got.
They had to come up with a drive, and what a long drive. You know, you just mentioned it started near their own goal line, and it was a big run by Walt Wilbon, and now the onside kick attempt is going to be caught by the Tigers. So the Lions may be trying to steal a possession there.
Yeah, I think that was a very smart. They didn't execute it, but I like the thought process there. Catch Grambling off guard, right? Lay one just over that first line, see if you can run and get it. But Grambling did a great job getting back, catching the ball, not trying to do something fancy, taking possession, and now they have great field position again.
5:31 to go in the first half. Hugh Jackson's team is out in front, 16-9 after that blocked extra point attempt. And, you know, you got to talk a little bit. I mean, if I can get you to talk a little bit about the job that Grambling is doing from an offensive standpoint with a new offensive coordinator. And right there, they go back to the run again, and they're having a lot of success with the run as Floyd Chalk takes it off tackle, picks up a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, I think their running game is really, really solid. I mean, they certainly, the point of attack is really impressive. They have two running backs that can get it done. But, yeah, the balance and having a new offensive coordinator there and getting the feel of it. Look at that run.
Back to Chalk again, still on his feet. Floyd Chalk with a huge run for the Grambling Tigers, and he just would not be denied there. Good job. He was the leading rusher on this team last year because of runs like that.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about the offensive coordinator, well, there's nothing more an offensive coordinator loves is make me look good. You give it to the right guys, playmakers, that can make you look good on any play. When they act that type of effort, it's fantastic.
So Crawley to throw it this time. Fires near the sidelines, and that was a dangerous pass that was almost picked off over there. He was trying to hit number 31, Covadis Knighton on the play, but boy, he covered a lot of distance with that pass, and it was almost picked off.
Yeah, he waited way too long, telegraphed it, and then again, you're right. It's just it's a long throw to that sidelines, and very lucky that wasn't picked off.
Devin Essex was the nearest defender to it, and almost got that one. So this time they come back to the run. Go to Chance Williams. Williams bounces off of one defender, and he's going to be forced out of bounds. And good job there, not getting the horse collar called because he had it, and then he let it go when he brought him down and didn't swing him to the turf.
Yeah, and honestly, quite frankly, he was very smart in that play. Like you said, he kind of horse collared him, but then he didn't just let him go where he fell either. He kind of held him up so he didn't fall at all. Watch it right there. See, he kind of hangs on but doesn't pull. And I give credit to the refs understanding he wasn't trying to hurt him. He held him up.
The yellow flag is down anyway, and it's out of bounds in that vicinity. So,
see, I thought you got to give the player credit for trying to make sure he didn't get hurt.
And Mr. Walker is also going to have a timeout on the play. Very interesting, you know, to watch that play. And Grambling has had so much success with the running game. Let's take another look at that play near the sidelines.
And again, his speed was amazing. But right there, that's a horse collar. But then he could have just let him go, and then he kind of hangs on to him so he doesn't fall. And I thought from a player standpoint, but I guess at the end of the day, it's still a horse collar, right? I mean, just because he didn't go down.
Tyreek Collins was the defensive player over there for Florida Memorial. A 6'2", 175-pound senior.
There's a player down right there. Trying to tend to him.
Well, at this point in the game, you got to wonder how much fatigue is actually going to start to play on both sides of the field because it's a hot afternoon game. We had 4:20 before we go to the half.
It's been a physical and intense played game. I mean, both teams have been hitting hard. I think the running backs have set the intensity for both teams. Both running backs, both sets of running backs run so hard. Defensively, you got to strap it on. You better be ready to go because there's going to be no easy tackles. And it's kind of interesting that I think the toughness of the game was set by the running backs.
So now the officials have it sorted out on the field. After all of that, it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go. And he goes to Chalk, and Chalk is caught from behind and dropped. And the down marker goes to 4th down for the Grambling Tigers, and the offense stays on the field.
What is it? Yeah, they didn't really get a whole lot of that. They were hoping to get about 5 yards out of that to make 4th down easier.
They got a yard, so make it 4th and 9 to go for a Grambling 1st down. Crawley at quarterback. Has to roll to his right. Still looking downfield, and Crawley's hit and dropped. A fine defensive play there by the Lions.
And that was a dangerous hit on the lower part of that leg, but Crawley obviously is okay.
Kevin Wakuta is in the backfield and makes a great stop as he pulled down the quarterback. Of course, his teammates like to call him King. He's number 8 right there on the sideline, 6'5", 240-pound senior, transfer in from Arkansas State. So that was a huge sack.
Yeah, it was. And again, there was holding on Grambling, but it doesn't matter. They're going to decline that. And now Florida Memorial take over. But that was a great play. Open field tackle, hit him right on the thigh, and he wasn't going anywhere. So now that defense, the Grambling's defense, got to head back out there. And again, Florida Memorial have momentum. In this last drive they just had, can they keep that intensity and keep the ball moving? 3:33. This is a huge drive right here.
Grambling has gone for it on 4th down a couple of times here in the first half.
Big 1st down here, and see where their drive goes here for the Lions.
That time it didn't pay off for them, so Florida Memorial will take over. Saquon Smith back at quarterback again. Has some time this time, floats it downfield. This time he overshoots his man, and it's almost intercepted by the Tigers. Chris DeGree had his hands on it and dropped it. Could not hold on. The 6', 185 sophomore from Baton Rouge, dropped the pass.
Oh, he's mad at himself right here because actually he went out of bounds first. He would have been a penalty if he'd have caught that anyway, right? You can't touch the ball first once you voluntarily go out of bounds. So I think it would have been a dead play anyway.
Take another look. This floats it down there, and he just wanted his receiver kind of slowed up, and I'm not sure why on that play. That was Jamal Browder, and he wanted Browder to go deep. Browder looked like he was going to break it off, and it goes down as an incomplete pass, but DeGree would love to have that one again. So now we have 3rd down coming up for the Lions.
They're in no hurry. They're taking their time. And again, they do have plenty of time if they keep this drive going, but this 3rd down, this is huge.
So Florida Memorial, as the clock ticks down, though, actually they're in this ball game, so the clock is their friend. They don't mind if they lose a little bit of time here. As Smith goes back to pass, he gets out of it, drops the ball, picked up, no, it's still loose, and the Tigers come up with it. Jaden Hardy, the big fella, number 98, came up with the football, but how about that one? Saquon trying to come out of the pocket with it, had the ball knocked away, and it was a hot potato for just a minute before Big Hardy came down on the football.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he came down with it, and it got slapped right there. Big 43 tries to pick it up on the run, and 98 Hardy winds up with it. How about that? He got a safety, and now a fumble recovery for Big 98.
So that makes the stop on 4th down null and void because the Tigers get it right back. And that was one of the things Coach told us this week, that he wanted to see more on defense, wanted to see them come up with some turnovers and force some turnovers. And that was a big one right there. Chalk on the handoff, and he's going to pick up a nice gain. Make it about 6 yards, 5 yards on the carry for Grambling.
Talking about a man who wanted to hit someone. Watch, he was going so slow to the outside, just watching, and then just exploded, laid the hammer on the defender. Wasn't going to try to outrun him, just run over him.
So the Grambling Tigers now second down and about 4. He could get 6 yards on that carry. They have great field position, so they're not worried about the clock either as we hit the 2-minute mark here in the first half. Fake to Chalk. Come back the other way to Lyndon Rash, and the big fella tries to pick up what he could get. He probably got the first down on the play. Rash, the big 6-foot, 220-pounder from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, good looking play. Took it straight up the field. They call a timeout, get their thoughts together.
Some of the individual stats. Crawley so far in the game, 9 of 16 for 100 yards and that touchdown. And when you look at the running attack, Chalk, the leading rusher from last year, 6 carries, 43 yards, but he has a net of 37, so make it 6 carries for 37 yards. And then you have Williams, 7 totes, and he has 29 yards.
And again, Chalk 6.2 a carry. That's what really makes it special. And again, I expect the second half that running game to get even better and better, and all of them exploit, because I think they're getting a little bit stronger and stronger. And again, they're going to start leaning on that running game even more and more and more as the game progresses.
So 1st and 10 for the Grambling Tigers. Ball resting at about the 17-yard line. Crawley to throw it again. Comes back near the sideline, and it's going to be dropped by Josh Quiet, the big tight end, a very talented tight end. That's unusual. You won't see him do that very often.
Yeah, and he ran a great route, had separation, and he kind of leaped back to the ball. And I like the comeback to the ball, but he couldn't hang on to it. There's a good angle right here. See at the very end, he kind of jumps back into it. I think he felt the defender coming. Wanted to make sure he got onto it.
Second down now for Grambling. Crawley back for the sidelines, and he saw he was covered, just threw that one in the dirt. Had some pressure on him, but that time, Josh Quiet very closely covered by the Lions.
Yeah, and I think his running back actually got in his own way of his throwing motion right there, which didn't allow him to have a really good throw there.
So all of a sudden, this drive is kind of slowed down right here. Tigers came into this game 0-2 on the year, looking for their first victory of the year. They lead it. Crawley goes to the little screen, dumps it off, and the flag comes down as soon as Chance Williams made the catch. Chance Williams is in for the touchdown, but we do have the flag to check out on the field. But that guy is so explosive and making plays happen.
Just stops on a dime. I mean, his whole body just literally caught it, spun, turned, and just took off. The defenders can't keep up with that. I mean, that's incredible. No foul.
Now he's picking it up. So Jarvis Walker and company picked up the flag, so the touchdown by Chance Williams is good, and the Grambling Tigers have tacked on 6 more, and Luca Duarte will try to make it 7.
And the Tigers do a great job of the Lions' misery. They fumble, return it, and then you turn around and you get a touchdown. That's exactly what Grambling was trying to do here.
The extra point attempt is good, and the Grambling Tigers will increase that lead, and the Tigers capitalizing, like you said, on the turnover. Did a great job of turning it into points.
What a move here. I mean, look at this touchdown again. Nice little safe pass, and then woo, right there, that turn. He just turns it up. Great acceleration. And again, you talked about electric and has great vision. He's not disappointing his coaches at all right there.
Well, and that ability to just cut on a dime. You know, he's got that low center of gravity in his build, and man, he just cuts back inside, and that was all Chance after he caught the football.
Mm-hmm. Or Chance, maybe no chance of tackling him. Maybe that's what it's about. That's where he got his name.
He showed some speed and quickness, and there you see the Grambling band getting set for some halftime action. Tigers got to be pretty happy. They're out in front here as we close in on halftime. 1:31 to go here in the first half. Of course, the world-famed Tiger marching band coming up at the half. That's always a lot of fun.
I think 11 first downs in the first half. They'll be somewhat pleased with this. Again, the key they're going to worry about here is just some penalties, but they're cleaning up their play as the game moves on, and I feel like that's focus, and they're getting confidence, starting to get some of that swagger back, and that's what Grambling needed, and they're certainly getting it.
And they're all business on the sidelines. You would think you'd see a little happy, but, you know, these guys, they're ready for business today. Tigers lead at 23-9 after the touchdown. And kickoff is going to be returned by the Lions, but not too far, maybe over to the 23-yard line. A big stop by the Grambling Tigers. That last pass from Miles Crawley to Chance Williams. It went for 18 yards on that little screen pass, a little dump off there. Williams even checked the defensive end. I don't know if you noticed before he spun out, he gave the defensive end a little he didn't give it away.
Right.
Did a great job of disguising the play.
Yeah, nice little kind of a chip block, and then just slid right off, and that's why it was open, because he looked like he was there to block. And again, the timing of a play like that worked out well. The play call was great, and again, execution, you can't script the kind of moves that that he does on the field. Not sure what the discussion here is. But now the Lions certainly have to not give Grambling the ball back. Regardless of whatever they do, they want to keep the ball. Looks like they have to re-kick it here.
So flag was down, and they will re-kick it. So the Lions will have another opportunity on the return.
And actually, if you're a Grambling fan, looking at the sideline, looking at the bench, that's a great scene for me, because they realize they're still in the game. There's 4 quarters to play. You can't get too excited. You can't worry about the last play, the last score. You got to think about the next. Keep yourself in the moment, and you keep looking forward. That's how you're able to close out games. And again, that's what Grambling's looking to do. Not just go up, have some big plays, but you got to close the game out and stay focused, one play at a time.
From an offensive standpoint for Florida Memorial, Saquon Smith, only 3 completions, 3 out of 11 for 73 yards, but he did have the touchdown. So he's made the most of his completed passes today. But the Grambling Tigers have done a really good job in the secondary. So here we go again with the re-kick. And we'll see if the Lions can get a better return this time. It's fielded at about the 8-yard line. And it's going to be run out of bounds at about the 27-yard line on the play. So Florida Memorial will have decent field position there. Jamal Browder on the return as he goes out of bounds. And you mentioned a key fact just a minute ago. You're going to have to make up your mind, what are you going to do here? You give it back to Grambling too quickly with too much time, you're going to leave the Tigers with an opportunity to score even more points.
Right. You have to be thinking, we've got to get a first down or a couple to make sure they don't get the ball back. Obviously, you'd love to score, but you just have to make sure Grambling doesn't get the ball back. And I would imagine that would involve some trying to run the ball out.
Saquon Smith with the handoff, and he goes to Wilbon, and Wilbon is caught and thrown down. A big play. Johnson, one of the tacklers, Nori Johnson, is back there. Had some help from his friends also.
Boy, Nori got back there so quick. I mean, he was dialed in and just flew back there.
And the Lions are going to watch the clock tick down as far as it'll tick. Saquon Smith taking his time. Down to 45 seconds to go. Up to throw this time. Fires near the sideline. Has a man open. That's a completed pass, and that may be a late hit out of bounds. We will see. We've seen a lot of flags flying in this one. So far, no flag. But he went down. That was Wilbon on the catch.
He did a good job of just rushing to get outside. And yeah, right at the end, he took a shot.
That looked like that one may have been a little late, but he got away with it. First down for Florida Memorial. Smith to throw it again. The lefty fires, and it's an incomplete pass. He was coming back across the middle, trying to hit Jackson Marset. He was open, just wasn't a good pass at all.
Yeah, I mean, just in the ground. And he had time. He had plenty of time to set his feet and everything. Just didn't get an accurate pass off. And again, his accuracy has been tough. I think he's only 20% on passes there. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, Antoine Williams still on the team. He was the starter last year for Florida Memorial, and not surprised that we might not see him in the second half, son. So Smith again pumps it, still has time, and he overshoots his receiver coming out of the backfield. That was Browder again. Just throws that one over his head with 27.5 ticks to go here in the first half.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've thrown each time, and now I mean they have to get a first down here. Otherwise the ball will go back.
Yeah, the drive started. It looked like they might have been able to run the clock a little bit, but then they decided, okay, let's take a shot, see if we can get some points now. A big third down coming up right here for Saquon Smith. He has to scramble again to his left. Looking downfield, it goes, and Saquon Smith's going to have an incomplete pass on the play. So now Tigers will get it with only 18 seconds to go.
Yeah, so I'm surprised Florida, on one of those plays, they snapped the ball 20 seconds left. They could have left this, they could have ran out the half.
Another penalty on the play, and it was declined because it was against the Lions. Tigers declined it, so it's going to be fourth down. So Grambling's going to try to take the football back and see what they can do with 18 seconds to go in the game.
H team with 7 penalties.
Well, there were a lot of flags. I mean, it was the game was a little choppy because of that. Neither team really had an opportunity to get a rhythm going for very long. And a lot of that has to do with the penalties that you're making and that are called.
Yeah, and again, overcoming penalty is really hard. So when usually the drives that scored, they didn't have penalties on for both teams. Looks like Florida Memorial called a timeout trying to make sure that they get the coverage. The last thing they want is a block punt here. They want to make sure they get things sewed up and say, hey, here's what we're looking for here. And that's a smart one, right? Because you want to make sure you get this ball off.
You know, and Coach Bobby Rome over at Florida Memorial, he's done some changes to his roster also. I mean, they made some changes. You know, they did a lot of turnover from last year with this year's team. And they really brought in, and he was very happy with the talent they brought in on the offensive line. The Lions were 3-7 last year. So to come in and be 1-1 at this point in the year and to have the type of offensive attack that they have, I'm sure he feels really good about that.
I think that's the new college football is change, right? You used to look for continuity and all that. I just don't think that's something that's going to be there for you now.
Punt is away. Goes deep. Tigers will have it on the return. And that's going to be up to the 42-yard line. And that's about it on the return for the Grambling Tigers. So we're down to the final 8 seconds to go in the half.
So if you're Grambling, what do? You just chunk one up there and see what the heck can happen, or you just take your knee and move to the halftime?
If I was Coach Jackson,
yeah,
I'm taking my knee and I'm going to the locker room. Yeah, I am, man. And you're going to play it out and we're going to come back and start it over in the second half. We will see what the man decides to do, though. He gets the big bucks for these decisions.
That's right. Well, they do get the ball back, as soon as the second half. So I wouldn't mind seeing him just chunk it up there, though.
We'll see. We got 2 receivers wide. Crawley back, turns, hands to Chance Williams. Chance can be a home run hitter. Ball is on the turf. Let's see. Nope, that wasn't it. He's caught. It looked like he fumbled the ball for a second, but it was a shoot. So that's going to be the end of that. As they unstack, that takes us to the end of the first half. And what a first half it was as the Grambling Tigers turned it on. They showed a lot of momentum here in the first half. They lead it 23-9. We'll be right back with your halftime report.
Introducing Instant Cash Offer, the quick, easy process you can trust. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy your car with no obligation. Here's how it works. Enter your vehicle ID number, VIN, or license plate. Answer a few questions about your car's history and condition. Receive a no-obligation offer to sell or trade with clear, easy next steps in minutes. Then choose a dealer, schedule a time, and drive away with confidence.
Love to hear it. Hard to own it. The overthinking begins and bingo bango. You know what? Just own it. Thanks. They're Old Navy. Brilliant.
You look like a flower, so sweet today. You look like a flower, each and every way. You look like a flower.
Etsy has home, style, gifts. Etsy has it.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Mix and match your faves like a sausage biscuit and chicken McGriddles. 2 for $3.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hercule Poirot, come with me to a seance.
Detective, you are here to discredit me, but I can talk to the dead.
What is happening?
Somebody has been murdered. A ghost killed her. One of you is the killer. No one shall leave until I find her. If the living have been killed by the dead.
You were saying?
A Haunting in Venice. Rated PG-13. Now playing. Only in theaters.
The construction field is hard. It's a long day. It's physical. Most of my customers say, I don't see how you can do this stuff anymore. But I say, I take balance in nature. Gives you that that extra little jolt. At 72, most people don't have that much energy. Balance in nature gives me the energy to do what I got to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking it.
Start your journey to better health today. Go to balanceofnature.com to get your special offer when you order as a new preferred customer. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. This exclusive technology allows Simply Safe agents to help stop crime in real time by speaking through the new Smart Alarm indoor camera.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on their way.
For instant intruder deterrence and faster police response.
Police have arrived. Your home is safe.
Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Has this happened to you? You get roped in with phone offers that bind you to a 3-year device contract. Break free with T-Mobile. Introducing Go 5G Plus, the first plan that always gives new and existing customers the same great device deals and your upgrade.
(23-9), the Grambling Tigers leading Florida Memorial at the half. Let's take time now to listen to the roar, the marching band of Florida Memorial University.
Love the pants. Love the pants.
Compliments are tough, but you just gotta own it. Thanks. It's Old Navy.
Iconic.
Introducing Instant Cash Offer, the quick, easy process you can trust. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy your car with no obligation. Here's how it works. Enter your vehicle ID number, VIN, or license plate. Answer a few questions about your car's history and condition. Receive a no-obligation offer to sell or trade with clear, easy next steps in minutes. Then choose a dealer, schedule a time, and drive away with confidence.
When your family is growing in ways you never expected, agents who are realtors are here for it.
You'd like to be outside the city. Yeah.
Here for the journey. Here with local knowledge beyond the listing. Because we're realtors, experts in what we do. Bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Good boy. Because that's who we are.
Keeping work processes on track can be a big challenge. When you have to keep everything connected. Or chasing up work you can't see. But work can run smoother than this when you use Monday.com, the seamless way to connect people and tools to efficient workflows. Learn how at Monday.com.
The construction field is hard. It's a long day. It's physical. Most of my customers say, I don't see how you can do this stuff anymore. But I say, I take balance in nature, gives you that that extra little jolt. At 72, most people don't have that much energy. Balance in nature gives me the energy to do what I got to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taken.
Start your journey to better health today. Go to balanceofnature.com to get your special offer when you order as a new preferred customer.
Jake from State Farm. You know it's really scary. Popcorn with no butter. No, getting insurance. I mean, what if the jargon makes me feel alone and in the dark?
Hey, at State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Sorry. Is that seat taken?
Get on up here, buddy. Let's go. Let's go.
Close one? Yeah, throw my cup of ale. I saw.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. This exclusive technology allows Simply Safe agents to help stop crime in real time by speaking through the new Smart Alarm indoor camera.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on their way.
For instant intruder deterrence and faster police response.
Police have arrived. Your home is safe.
Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still at the half, 23-9. The Grambling Tigers out in front. That was the band from Florida Memorial. Let's take a look now at some SWAC news and notes presented by GM, the proud sponsor of the SWAC. As you can see, always we have our weekly SWAC soccer honors there. Some of the outstanding young ladies participating. And then check out the SWAC volleyball honors there. Congratulations to all the young ladies mentioned there. And then how about from Arkansas Pine Bluff? Jonas Davis ranks 5th now, currently ranks 5th in the NCAA in all-purpose yards with 157.5 yards per game. Congratulations to him also. So a lot to talk about there. And then how about this? Here's the SWAC scoreboard presented today by Pepsi, the official partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And as we take a look, we had the early game today. So you see all the action is yet to come. Texas Southern playing a big game against Rice. At Rice, Miles is taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff. West Florida versus Florida A&M. Prairie View taking on the Ponies from SMU. How about Alabama A&M versus Southern? That's a huge game right there. Mississippi's Valley State versus Delta State. And then the McNeese Cowboys at Alcorn State. Alcorn knocked off McNeese last year. And then how about Jackson State wrapping it up with an 8:30 kick, taking on Texas State. And now we take a look at our SWAC slate of games coming up in the future there. Arkansas Pine Bluff against Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs, and then you have Mississippi Valley State traveling to North Carolina Central. How about Bethune-Cookman at Jackson State, another big SWAC game? And then this is my favorite on the scoreboard. How about that one, Jorge? Texas Southern versus Grambling.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. And again, Grambling starting to feel their oats, feeling good today. If they can close out on this one, they will feel like they are really ready to take care of Texas Southern.
One of the top teams in the SWAC, Florida A&M, will be at home to take on Alabama State. And then another one of those big games, you look at Prairie View A&M going over to Alcorn State.
Yeah, Prairie View A&M looking for some vengeance against Alcorn State. It's a team that always stumbles them, and they want to make sure they're focused for that one.
We're going to take a timeout now at Grambling leads Florida Memorial 23-9. We'll be right back with more. We're at the half.
Them Diamondbacks are mighty poisonous. We should get you to a doctor.
I learned from my pappy and my grandpappy before him. Cattle herd don't need no doctor. This is dead serious. Let's drive this herd.
Sometimes you just need some help. So if you need therapy, find a licensed therapist at BetterHelp.com.
I used to get so anxious thinking about feeding our kids because it meant saying goodbye to any free time. But HelloFresh changed everything, and it literally feels like we get 3 extra hours in our life every day.
Everything you need gets delivered right to your door. They have recipes that take 10 minutes. It's much better than takeout, and it's a lot cheaper too.
I couldn't believe it, but our kids love the recipes.
If you want to eat better without spending hours in the kitchen, you gotta try it.
Go to HelloFresh.com/GoHulu and use code GoHulu to get this last chance fall offer.
I'd like to thank Stitch Fix for always making me look great.
For taking care of the shopping, so I can take care of this.
I'd like to thank my stylist. Now getting dressed is so easy. Thanks for getting my fit just right. For finding me looks that work for me and my budget.
For finding me my favorite pair of jeans.
I'd like to thank Stitch Fix because I look good.
Thanks, Stitch Fix. You just get me.
They get me.
You just get me.
And they'll get you too.
Take your style quiz today.
Remember why you became a nurse? You wanted to help people. And girl, you're just getting started. You know what's next. Getting your graduate degree. That's how you can change this place for the better. For yourself, your patients, the whole community. You want to make change happen? Walden University is all about change. It's time.
Walden University. Set a course for change.
I'm wired to crave unique foods?
Noom Weight helps you identify your habits, change them, and realize when it comes to lasting weight loss.
Wow.
It's psychological. Noom Weight. Visit Noom.com and start your trial today.
The hexagon, the perfect building block for innovation. Using a patterned design and hybrid construction, Hexlad combines the performance of stainless steel cookware with the convenience of non-stick. And that all adds up to this. Welcome to the hybrid revolution. Welcome to Hexlad.
Led by a strong defensive effort in the first half, the Grambling Tigers lead Florida Memorial 23-9. We are at the half. Well, let's listen now to the world-famed Tiger Marching Band. We'll watch them perform, presented today by Pepsi.
Wake up. The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes, I can. Move. Feel it. Hold on to this feeling. Yes, I can. Yes, I must. Watch me.
Hair shedding? That's parenthood for you. My job got bigger. My hair got thinner. Aging? I see it in my hair. Support visibly thicker hair through life's changes with Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
Let me be direct. Some people are paying more than double for teeth straightening with Invisalign. And then there's Smile Direct Club. You get a smile you love directed by one of their doctors with aligners sent directly to you. So the savings go directly to you. 60% less than Invisalign. And Smile Direct Club guarantees your smile for life. Your life. Choose Smile, choose Direct. Smile Direct Club. Smile Direct Club. Love that song.
Sometimes I need to paraphrase.
It's easy to make your work clearer and more concise. They're still your ideas, just shorter.
We'll definitely stay under the time limit this time. Better. Now, the biggest part of this assignment is making the pitch compelling for the judges.
You can use Grammarly to make your sentences more engaging, confident, and persuasive.
This is perfect.
94% of students say Grammarly helps improve their grades. Download Grammarly for free.
Oh, that's a bass.
Not again.
Well, it's because you never hold me like that.
Nope. Oh, this should be good. Whoa. How did you do that? Oh, it's bass. It comes with a built-in weight indicator, so I don't have to do that.
What if I told you the next great hybrid technology wasn't for a new car or computer chip, but it was for
The best ribeye, every time. Hexclad's hybrid cookware gives you the performance of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, and the convenience of non-stick. Welcome to the hybrid revolution. Welcome to Hexclad.
We started Ernesta because I have had decades of bad experiences buying rugs. There are standard-sized store-bought rugs that don't fit your space and they don't look great in your home. And then on the other side, you have custom-cut designer rugs, but often the price points were just inaccessible to most people. We believe Ernesta can get you that beautiful design, custom-cut, high-quality rug at a speed and an affordability that we think is going to work for you.
Both teams are loosening up now for the second half here at Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium. 23-9, Grambling out in front. They lead Florida Memorial. Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas here with you. Jorge, give me some of your thoughts. Well, first of all, before I get your thoughts on the first half, let's take a look at some of the action and see how we got to that 23-9 score as we take a look at some of the first half action here. And Grambling coming out right here, and this was a big play. Taking it in was Robinson, Javon Robinson, showing his speed off on that Grambling touchdown.
And again, this was right after one got called back, and they just answered with a great touchdown. And here they go again, hammering it in the end zone from 4 yards out.
Elder burying it, and then the big safety by Hardy.
That's right. Hardy got a fumble recovery and the safety, and that really changed the demeanor of the game.
And then on the other side, Florida Memorial had a touchdown pass right there. Saquon Smith to Bentley for the touchdown. And then this was my favorite highlight of the first half, Chance Williams.
Yeah, and you see how he just literally banks. He goes, everything's going right, and he just flows, lays that foot down, puts his hand down, then it just explodes back down the middle for the touchdown.
Saw a little bit of everything in the first half as far as scoring-wise. You know, you saw the safety. And then let's take a look now at the halftime stats brought to you today by Pepsi. And What stands out to you the most, Jorge?
Well, what's funny is really balanced total offense is really very similar. First downs are real similar, 10 to 12. Again, I thought the Grambling's rushing would be a little bit more dominant. I feel like in the second half it's going to explode a bit more, but even time of possession is not that far off. Again, it's a really balanced as far as the stats go, but Grambling has cashed in and made sure they've gotten touchdowns on the end of their drives.
And that's what I see in that time of possession. Also, Florida Memorial actually had the football more, but Grambling has the bigger lead in the game, and it shows you, though, that Florida Memorial was competitive in the first half and did really hang in there versus the Grambling Tigers as we get set for the second half. What do you see here in the second half? What do you think they have to do to stay in this game and maybe have a chance to win it?
Well, I think they have to find a way to, just what I talked about in the beginning of the game, was they have to have sustained drives, but they have to cash in at the end of them with 6 points. They can't just enter for a field goal. And then for Grambling, I think it's all about continued execution. We saw their execution level grow as the game moved on, and then let your playmakers make plays, and when they have success, that's what happens. I feel like their offense is really starting to get a lot more continuity as this game goes.
We talked about how Coach Jackson said what he likes about his quarterback, Miles Crawley, is he gets the ball to his playmakers. And you know what? They're going to start having more and more fun in the stands as the second half goes on. But he likes the way he gets the football into his playmakers' hands and let them make the plays.
Yeah, I don't think Crawley doesn't play as a quarterback where it's got to be about him. You can tell he's like, what's there, that's what we're going to do. Some quarterbacks, you can tell, they just want their stats. They want it all to be in the air. They want to be 400 yards and a bunch of touchdowns. I don't think he cares. He's like, look, whatever's working today, that's what we're going to do. And so I think that's he's ready to go right here.
Yeah, that's some talent in the stands right there, man. He was working it.
Woo. I'm tired. I got to stretch after watching that.
And you thought Chance Williams had some moves.
That's right. Maybe that's his brother.
We're just about ready to get underway. Walt Wilbon to kick it off. And the Tigers will have it. Short kickoff, fielded at about the 16-yard line. Grambling still moving that ball upfield, and a nice return on the play. Joshua Johnson looked like was on the return for the Tigers with that one. So they'll get excellent field position as we get set to start the second half.
From special teams, you got to love when a guy grabs the ball straight up the field. I'm going, you give me a little seam, and I'm just going to keep churning. No moves, nothing. I'm just going to keep churning my legs till someone drops me. That's exactly what he did right there. Took the most of that.
So what would you like to see from Miles Crawley as we start the second half?
I want to see them, honestly, what I'd like to see more, because their running game, I think, has gotten better in the end of that second half, some really good play action, and then go up top, catch them coming up. I think that's going to happen here.
Tigers with the ball over the 40-yard line to start the second half. They go to Williams to get it started, and once again, that defense from Florida Memorial is in the backfield. A big play by Christian Mabel. He's the best defensive lineman on that team. Last year, he actually had 12 and a half sacks.
Yeah, he just came right down the line of scrimmage. No one blocked him, but what he did a good job was he just came right down the line of scrimmage, didn't give him a chance to do one of them little joystick moves and take off the other way.
Second down for the Tigers, a loss of 2 on the play. Crawley to Williams again. Tries to turn the corner, and he's caught again in the backfield. This time it's Tyreek Collins catching him and swinging him down. So they go with 2 runs to start the second half. Both carries lose yards on the play.
And while Christian Mabel doesn't get any love for that play at all on the stats, but what he did that time, again, a minute ago I talked about him just going down the line of scrimmage, making sure he didn't get to the outside. And that time he was getting blocked, and he just made sure he stayed to the outside and made sure it had to come inside him. And his teammates were able to spring to the ball.
Ball back to the 36-yard line. 3rd and 16. Crawley is caught and dropped in the backfield. A big sack on the play. Number 8 into the backfield, coming up with a huge play. Right there, that is King Wakuta, again, with his second big play in this ballgame.
And again, Grambling has to, coming out of half and having basically negative play after negative play after negative play. That's exactly what you don't want to happen. And you asked earlier, what does Florida have to do to get really back into it. And, man, I didn't think they would be able to do that. But a quick 3 and out, get yourself in good field position and come attack.
Well, it is a surprise because Grambling ran the ball so well in the first half. So that will bring on Jimmy Isles, who's right now, he's third in the SWAC in punting, averaging almost 44 yards a kick. Nice long kick this time, and he did not outkick his coverage. Good coverage, and the return man slipped down. So that means Florida Memorial will take over the football when we come back. Score still 23-9. Grambling out in front.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
When you join the HBC.
And welcome back, everyone. 12:09 to go here in the third quarter. And the Tigers and the Lions. Tigers and Lions starting to mix it up a little bit. We had a touchdown. We're going to take a look at that, see if we can't take it back to you in just a second as Grambling lines up for the extra point attempt. The kick by Duarte is good. And the Grambling Tigers, just like that, have padded their lead.
Vic Matthews celebrating on the sidelines, and for this right here, a pick six. The linebacker steps in front of the ball, reads it, and how about not does he get in front of it, but he goes all the way for the pick six.
Hey.
If you're a linebacker and you do that, whoo!
That was Lewis Matthews, and you talk about this, we've been talking about him all day long. You saw the pass from Smith, a little bit behind, and then the big fella, number 57, Lewis Matthews, jumped right in there, snatched it, and then, like you said, that wasn't enough that he got the interception. Then he took it to the house.
That is the linebacker's dream right there. You don't get to see that very often. He did a remarkable job there, taking it all the way for the touchdown. And just when you think momentum's going one way, it turns on a dime.
Well, it really does, and it really does. But we've been talking about that young man the entire game and what a player he is and how his motor never stopped. It's always going, and he read that really well. And I think you touched on it a little bit in the first half. A couple of the passes, Saquon Smith had people open, but he threw late. For whatever reason, whether he couldn't see over the line, whatever it was, he threw late. He was late with that when the pass was behind, and Lewis Matthews stepped right in there and made the interception.
Yeah, and Lewis, Matthews, we talked about communication for Grambling, and I felt like, he and Jordan Harris, both linebackers, have been really doing a lot of communicating, a lot of talking, not just to the defensive linemen and positioning, but you've seen them turn around and communicate with the defensive backs as well. And again, so communication coming in was an issue, and where to be, well, you can't be any better place than where Lewis Matthews was right there, reading the play and jumping on it and returning for a touchdown. And you're right, Smith has been, first it was just kind of some slow reads, and then I feel like he's gotten more inaccurate as well. It's like he's second-guessing himself on throws, and that can make you inaccurate.
So that was your game changer, folks. They come out in the second half that'll take the life right out of you because Florida Memorial had a good defensive stand. There's big Lewis Matthews on the bench right there. Getting his congratulations. But Florida Memorial came out, made a good stop on Grambling's first possession. Losses on first down, second down, and third down. And then as soon as they get the ball, you got Matthews making that tremendous play to really turn things around.
Yeah, and you're right. It just deflates you as a team because you go out there and you literally drive them backwards. And then you get a score on defense. Not only do you get the interception, but they score on it. Your defense doesn't get a chance to go back out there and keep the points off the board.
Tanner Rinker on now to kick the football off. And he sends it way back there, and so it's going to be ruled. Looks like it was out of bounds.
Could not tell.
So the Lions will get the football. 1st and 10, and man, it's tough to come back after that big play by that Grambling defense. So they'll have to come back and see if they can't start from scratch and get it going again.
Yeah, I think the Lions just have to kind of put that out of their mind right now, and just it's kind of it's obviously very simplistic to say, but it's play by play, right? You can't stare at the scoreboard. You just got to do what you do, and I think they give them a dose of runs. Don't get in a hurry. Use those 2 running backs they have, and just and see what you can do, and then try to surprise them with a little play action.
But this is a point in the game now, 30-9, Grambling out in front, where you would expect that defensive group to just turn it loose right here.
Yeah, it looks like Antoine Williams came in a quarterback here, Butch. So they did make the move you were talking about earlier.
So Williams turns and he hands off. Not much going on right there as that Grambling front 4 shuts down George Young.
But this is where you lean on a guy like George Young, right? Because he can make some really big plays. He's special along with your other running back. They can certainly Wilbon. Yeah, Wilbon. They can make some things happen, and you challenge your offensive line, right? Give them a hole.
Lions now with a 2nd down and 7 to go for the 1st down. Antoine Williams gives again on the handoff, and they're going to push it up close to the sticks. It's going to be just short. So Williams does a good job of churning those legs and getting it right in and setting up a 3rd down and probably about a yard.
Yeah, I don't think I'm thinking it's a 3rd and 1. So, but Sundiata is Anderson is making some great stretches up the field, but he's creating a crease right off that tackle. Don't be surprised if they run right at him.
3rd down, the pass deep is caught. A good pass from Williams, and he has his man. He pushed out of bounds. That is Markel Lee on the reception. But that was a good ball from Williams. His first pass of the ball game.
Yeah, what a surprise there, though, right? I mean, didn't even really fake it much. Grambling was not thinking they were going to throw it down the field. Big play.
So a big play, and the Lions are up to the line of scrimmage quickly. And now the officials are having a discussion before they put the football down. Have to respot the ball. You know, if that pass was a little more out in front, they may have had a touchdown. So Antoine Williams running the offense now, gives it to Young. Young in the open field, and he just couldn't quite escape that last tackle. He had one man to beat there and couldn't get away. That was Keyshawn Johnson who was hanging on.
And I think they're going to, that was the right side there, and that's where Sundiata Anderson's coming off that edge. And I think they're going to try to exploit that maybe a little bit and slow him down coming around the edges. If you run at him a few times, he can't really explode straight up and try to go around your tackle as much because you're creating a seam.
So Young will take a blow on the sideline. Wilbon is in the game. He gets the football, does a nice hesitation move, and he almost turned the corner. Walt Wilbon with a great carry right then. He almost turned that into a really big play.
And again, I think your 2 running backs, they've created a different vibe here. You just got to go with them. And the offensive linemen are doing a really good job of staying on their blocks and giving them an opportunity to make a move.
Did you see who made that tackle again? Lewis Matthews, the big fella selling out today. Lewis has himself a fine ball game going on defense for the Grambling Tigers. So now we have 3rd and 4 for the Lions to keep it alive. They give it to Wilbon. He has a hole, and Wilbon, it's a foot race now as he fakes inside, cuts to the outside, and Wilbon is into the end zone. Let's see where the official marks it. Now they're going to mark him short. He did knock down the pylon there, but what a run by Walt Wilbon.
I tell you, those two running backs can make something happen. And again, look at the misdirection. He goes left, then cuts back. Another cut there, a little wink. And I thought he made it in the end zone, but he just short the half-yard line.
So they got it marked right down at the goal line. 1st and goal to go. And it's Wilbon, and he dives in for the touchdown for the Lions. So really, they did a great job of getting downfield and getting that touchdown in a hurry.
Yeah, and you know what? When we talked about what do they need this drive, we talked about using your running backs, starting there, and then maybe surprise with a couple throws. Really, it's exactly what they did. Their playmakers made plays. They were methodical. And instead of it being a slow drive, it wound up being a relatively, like you said, it was a fast drive, but they did it on the ground.
Yeah, they did it mostly on the ground, but that big pass gave them just enough balance where you got the Tigers off balance on defense. And Big Surge is on for the extra point, and it is good, as he knocked it right through there. So how about Florida Memorial getting on the scoreboard with that touchdown? We'll be back with more third quarter action.
We got a Subaru Forester Wilderness to discover all the places that make us feel something more.
Subaru is the National Park Foundation's largest corporate donor, helping expand access for all.
Happiness is different things to different people. That's what happiness is. Happiness is different things to different people.
Etsy has home, style, gifts. Etsy has it.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Mix and match your faves like a sausage biscuit and chicken McGriddles. 2 for $3.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I avoided credit cards most of my life, but when I started to create a streaming platform for musicians like me, I knew it was important to build my credit to set my business up right. I heard about the Chime Credit Builder card and I signed up right away. I didn't have to worry about fees, interest, or credit checks. Within a month, my score went up. Now it's up over 100 points. I feel set up for success, and so is my business. I tell everybody about the Chime Credit Builder card. Here we go. Check it out at chime.com.
There is a lot that goes into becoming a licensed therapist.
I completed 4 years of undergraduate, 2 years of graduate school, followed by 2 years of clinical training.
You literally have to do 3,000 hours plus of one-on-one, face-to-face interactions with clients.
Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas with you here, and we got quite the ball game going on right now. The Grambling Tigers are sitting in the driver's seat for now. They lead it 30-16 versus Florida Memorial. That last drive by Florida Memorial was an exciting drive, 7 plays, 92 yards. It took them 2 minutes and 49 seconds before Walt Wilbon dove in from a yard away, but it was the running of Wilbon and the running of George Young that led the drive. So here we have the kick back to the Grambling Tigers. Once again, the kick is down to only about the 10-yard line. And here come the Tigers on the return. It's Marquise Britton, and Britton is going to be hammered down after he crossed the midfield in a nice return by the Grambling Tigers on that kickoff.
Boy, again, I think the Tigers special teams unit, watch the blocking here. I mean, sure, he does a great job of following his block, but look at that. He had no one around him for a good while. And then a nice tackle there, getting his body where he's not going anywhere. But, man, what a great job by the special teams.
That's Wilbon on the tackle, so he's doing everything today. He's running the football, he's kicking off, and now he's making tackles on the kickoff team.
Yeah, he looked pretty excited to be making a tackle too, right? He's like, people tackle me all the time. I want to get one. And again, it was a great body. He threw his body in it.
There was a penalty on the play, just like after the last big kick return by the Tigers. So they will lose a lot of that good field position after holding. Holding called on the play by Jarvis Walker, our referee, so that will take the Tigers all the way back. But that was a spectacular return by Marquise Britton. So the Tigers go 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Miles Crawley still at quarterback. Fakes the handoff, fires a strike, and it's, well, completed pass. What a catch by Antonio Jones. A big hit by the defense, but Jones hung on.
Fabian Harden laying the hammer right there. He's got the right name, Harden, because he hits hard. Woo! But if you're gonna be a receiver, go ahead and catch the ball, because you will get a shot. And he certainly great catch there, hanging on to that ball.
So 2nd down for the Tigers. Crawley fakes it, rolls to his right, has a man all by himself, and he's going to have the 1st down and more. He slips away, and it's just down the sideline he goes. And a big play for number 17, Tylan Williams, as he turned that into a huge touchdown for the Grambling Tigers.
Wow, that is special. We keep saying playmakers make plays, right? But how about your quarterback? We talked about that in the half, right? He just wants whatever's open. Does a great job, nice and calm, puts the ball where he could do something with it. And again, look at that juke move. And then 19 with a great block there. And then that's it. It's off to the races there.
Antonio Jones coming back to help out his buddy. Gave him just enough to turn the corner, take it all the way down the sidelines. Tylan Williams on the return for the touchdown. 67 yards for the Grambling Tigers. So just like that, the Lions get on the scoreboard and Grambling just comes right back on top of it. That's what you have to do. You have to answer any challenge you get from the other side.
And you just keep them pinned down where they stop feeling good about themselves. You can tell the Lions started feeling momentum, feeling they had things going on. And then what's tough about that for them is they don't even get to last long. Boom, right back. It was an interception return for a touchdown. Now a drive that was very short in the end zone. That's the way to do it.
Rinker on for the extra point this time, number 38. Grambling has used a couple of kickers in this game, and that one is good. Beautiful kick, and just like that, the Grambling Tigers add 7 more. We have 8:26 to go in the 3rd quarter. Grambling out in front, 37-16.
Doritos created Solid Black in 2021 to help fuel the initiatives of black leaders seeking to drive real change. And this year, Doritos Solid Black is welcoming 16 new change makers to the program. We are Solid Black.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Huge play coming up.
Wait, talking about dropping the ball.
I got the score.
Tostitos Hardy Dippers.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs. Committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Welcome back, everyone, and we just had the kickoff return by Khalil Washington for the Lions. That last scoring drive, just in case you're wondering it, only 2 plays. It took a long time. 2 plays, 77 yards, and 40 seconds.
Everything the Lions didn't want to happen happened right there. I guess if you're looking at least they didn't take up too much time scoring, so you got more time to come back. I guess if you're the Lions faithful, that's where you hang your hat on, I guess.
Well, obviously you are a guy with a glass half full philosophy there. So you see Henry at the bottom of the screen as the Tigers start to tighten up on defense. Antoine Williams back in at quarterback for Florida Memorial. They've done a good job running the football in this game tonight, so they come right back today, with Keno Marset on the carry. You might remember, I'm sure he's trying to forget, but he was the young man who was carrying on the safety when he could not get out of the end zone. Big play there by Robert Wilson on the stop.
Lane Lewis helping out as well, number 97.
Come back with the run again and some room inside, but a big tackle by Lewis Matthews. Man, this guy's having a ball game today.
I think that's his 11th tackle.
He is dropping the hammer.
Wow, he's playing really good.
Bring up a huge third down now. But Matthews has been all over the field.
Yeah, that's number 11 and 6th solo tackle of the game. Not to mention his interception return for a touchdown. Not a bad day.
So here comes the third down, 3rd and long. Williams steps up, and he's going to be caught and dropped. And Matthews was coming, but Johnson got there first. Johnson with a big tackle to drop the quarterback, Antoine Williams. And so the Florida Memorial will have to punt the football away.
But Norrie Johnson did a really good job. He was spying the quarterback. But when you watch him come up to make the tackle, he's accelerating. But you also see he's like, look, I just need to make sure he doesn't get a touchdown. I don't need to do something spectacular. And he kind of breaks down. And he makes Williams commit. And once he did that, he was able to make the tackle. If he'd have come with, ears back flying, he could have gotten juked out or whatever. He made sure he did the sure tackle. So good job by Norrie Johnson coming controlled.
So the punt by Marcus Williams is underway, and it's going to be fielded by the Tigers from Grambling, and they're going to try to bring it back. C.J. Guidry has some room around the right side, and Guidry was just tripped up, or he might still be running with the football. Nice return by C.J. Guidry, the young man from Houston, transfer from the University of Houston.
I think he ran 60 yards to get about 10. He went backwards. Created some room and then took it forward. But special teams from Grambling, I think, has been really good.
Take a look at some of the stats from Miles Crawley today. 12 out of 21, 202. But more importantly, the most important stat on your screen, the 3 touchdowns.
He has made the play when he needs to. Great job. And again, his playmakers took care of him as well.
So he turns and gives it straight away to Chalk, and Chalk running with some authority there. He banged his way close to the sticks. He's going to be just shy of that first down. The thing about Crawley, he's a guy who's been around. He started, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, started 2 years at Alabama State, 2021, 2022. You and I did his first game, and at the time, Coach thought, hey, man, this guy's going to be here forever and do such a great job, but you never know what's going to happen. Bad snap over Crawley's head. Picked up in the backfield by Chalk, and that's going to be a huge loss for the Tigers. But back to Crawley, we actually saw his first game, and they were talking about it. And at that point, he was a young man, a freshman, starting with his whole future ahead of him.
Yeah, but, if you deal with these portals now, you got a guy, you think he's your future, you have him, and then things change in a hurry. So it's tough, and it's got to be tough to watch your player that you groomed leave, right? And again, I think some players who've hit the portal, they've told you it's a tough decision, but they just feel like they needed a new place to go. And And you see it inside the SWAC. You see it from guys from the SWAC going all different places. But one thing coaches have to do now, they have to bring players together real quick instead of this long-term getting cohesion.
Timeout called by the Grambling Tigers. 32 new athletes from the transfer portal, and we talked about it. 76% of their roster has been turned over.
That is unheard of. I mean, if you'd have said that to coaches just 5-6 years ago, that you'd have had to do that, they'd have said, no way, no way, no way. And then, of course, we've seen Coach Prime do it at the biggest level, right? Just literally an overhaul of an entire team and then have success. I think at Texas State they've done the same. More in a different fashion, but you have teams that are showing it can be done. And I think what happens is the biggest portion of that is coaches have to get buy-in from players quicker than ever to say this is what needs to be done, and players just need to listen and do what they're told instead of, because again, you can't have cohesion if guys are trying to freelance and do their own thing. And I think you get the right players that buy into your program, I think you can do it.
So the Grambling Tigers now looking at a 3rd and probably 22 yards for a first down as they get set to snap the football. Crawley puts a man in motion. That is quiet. He has to step up in the pocket under some pressure, throws it out near the sidelines, and he was just unloading that football. So it's an incomplete pass. So once again, the defense from Florida Memorial comes up with a big stop.
And Crawley, I was concerned with him, taking the shot there himself, just trying to get rid of the ball. But we see a Florida Memorial player down. Looks like he's in some discomfort for sure.
So it will be 4th down. They were looking at the play just in case there was an illegal grounding on it, but he was out of the pocket. Everything was good on the play as he threw it away. So it will be 4th down. And now you see some of the guys starting to cramp up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long day, and it's been a kind of a rocky play. The state of play hasn't really been fluid. Some mistakes and some things that have kind of start and stop the game, and you got to really keep your focus when you're a player doing that.
Let's talk about Bobby Rome for a little bit while we have an opportunity, the head coach at Florida Memorial, because he kind of did the same thing. He reworked his lineup. He had to rework it from a team that went 3-7 last year. So they brought in a lot of new offensive players. And, of course, he was a big guy. He's a player, former player, so he understands the game, went to UNC, played quarterback his first year when he got there, and moved him to H-back, and that's where you got to, you might as well call him a fullback because you got to stick your nose in everything. So he understands what has to be done to turn a roster over. But you mentioned Deion Sanders a minute ago. Of course, he was in the SWAC last year for the last 2 years, now at Colorado. I mean, he took a lot of criticism for what he did at Colorado. 80 players basically got, and now you're seeing the fruits of their labor. It's just kind of like the new look of where college football is now as the Grambling Tigers get set to punt the football away. Jimmy Isles, again, with a short one that's going to bounce near the sideline and will be touched down at about the 22, 23-yard line. And that is where Florida Memorial will take over the football.
Yeah, back to the portal. I think the hard thing for coaches to do is where's the balance, right? Where do you want to pull high school players in and groom and develop? And then where do you need to go out? And again, coaches have, I don't have to tell coaches this, they've got as much pressure, win, and win now, right? The alumni and your presidents, they want to see wins on the board right away. How do you do that? And how do you do that with a balanced way with also has integrity towards university? That is a tough road to figure out. And I think that's what coaches and organizations are trying to figure out. And I will say this, every program's different, and at the time you come in as a brand new coach, the timing will be different of how many guys you have to go to the portal or not, and that's just something you have to figure out each year. I don't think there's going to be just a standard way to do it.
Well, and then you still have to factor in COVID also, because that came and added extra years on to guys with different teams, and so it was very difficult to manage. Mm-hmm. So the pass is complete. So Florida Memorial making a move here on first down with the completed pass to Jamal Browder from Williams. So Antoine Williams trying to get his team on the go again.
Quick trigger throw right here. He knew exactly where he was going, put it right on the money. And again, he found a hole in the defense, just sat down, made a good target for his quarterback. Looking for a face mask right there.
Cedric Anderson helping out on the tackle. We have 4:11 to go here in the third quarter. We should remind folks this is the first home game of the year for the Grambling Tigers. Handoff to Young, and look at this guy. Excuse me, that was Wilbon, but he shot through that hole like Young. He showed some of the speed that Young has showed this entire game. But what a run by Walt Wilbon.
Yeah, he fooled me too. And again, just absolute explosion. You see how he, right there, he picked up his legs and ran high, didn't allow the defender to get to his legs? There he goes again.
He's just tough to bring down. He's a young man who likes that contact, and he keeps bringing it. He gives you every inch he has, but we have another penalty down on the field.
Wilbon with 92 yards right now, 14 carries, 92 yards.
Jarvis Walker is our referee for the day. So the Lions come back up. They have a 1st and 10 now. Nice fake by Antoine Williams, and then he completes the pass to Browder, but a nice fake inside on that zone read action going. So he did a good job opening that up.
Yeah, and the fans want to know why the quarterback and the team will just stop and look to the sidelines.
Lions are trying to move it real, got up to the line of scrimmage. In a hurry. They're trying to get the most out of this clock, see if they can get on the board before the end of the third quarter. I mean, they're still playing hard.
Yeah, Wilbon, he took a big shot there. He'll come off. But fans are always like, why does a quarterback stop and just keep looking at the sidelines? It's just the sidelines, if they see something, they'll change the play. They give you a play, and then they'll call it audible right there. See, like right there.
So Antoine Williams still has a lot of time. You know, the huddle is a thing of the past. It's extinct. No one uses it anymore. You signal in the plays you want. Williams this time, pressure underneath him, dumps it off to Young. And George Young is not going to pick up much this time.
Yeah, and getting under center as a quarterback is a thing of the past. I mean, no one does it at any level. My son plays 7th grade, and I was surprised no one takes a snap from the center. They're in shotgun.
The evolution of the game, it has changed.
Yes.
So now a big 3rd down coming up here for the Lions. They've gotten the football into Grambling territory, resting at the 33-yard line. 3rd and about 6. Williams floats it, had a man wide open. Wide open was running back George Young, and he just extended him a little too far, just led him a tad, but you got to put that one on him.
Yeah, and Trent Henry was a defender here, and it looks like he just kind of either wasn't, we talked about great communication right here, obviously there wasn't good communication. He was trying to recover someone, now whether it was him or whoever, he was trying to recover to get back deep.
You know, watching the rotation on that ball right there, it looked like it may have slipped out of Williams' hands on the pass. Because, I mean, something went wrong with that. That guy was wide open. So now we got 4th and 6 after missing a potential touchdown. This time Williams is chased out of the pocket. On the right side, fires over the middle, has a man wide open, and that is the 1st down for the Lions. Markel Lee with the catch on the play.
Yeah, Markel Lee did a smart job of just laying down as soon as he caught it, too, because he would have gotten crushed if he would have turned the corner. But great job by Williams extending the play and then keeping his head up and throws a strike in there.
Kept his head up. That was key because he found Markel Lee coming back over the middle. But also getting out of the pocket and keeping his head downfield. He bought himself some extra time to find that open receiver.
Yeah, they're going to try to score before this quarter ends.
1st and 10, the ball now inside the 20. Right at the 19-yard line for the Lions. They go back to the running game. Nice move to get something out of nothing. Keno Marset getting some action now. We've seen 3 running backs also from the Lions.
They've all been effective. Wilbon, though, leading the way with 118 yards.
It's a tough 118 yards, too. I mean, he's pounded out every one of those yards. But we've seen some good running backs in this game today as we tick down to the final seconds of the third quarter here.
I'm surprised they're not trying to get a play off here before that. It was 2nd down and 5.
Final 2 seconds, 1 second, so that will do it. So the Grambling Tigers in control of this ball game for now. Tigers, G-Men out in front, 37-16. We'll be back in just a minute.
I love the fact that HelloFresh always send me something different that I never would have made.
The most amazing recipes delivered right to your door.
Wide variety, pre-portioned ingredients that help make sure you don't waste money on excess food.
HelloFresh gives you all you need to make a really delicious meal right at home.
They have made my life so much easier.
Easy, affordable, really, really good and flavorful.
Tastes so good. Oh my God.
Go to HelloFresh.com/GoHulu and use code GoHulu to get this last chance fall offer.
I can do this.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
There is a lot that goes into becoming a licensed therapist.
I completed 4 years of undergraduate, 2 years of graduate school, followed by 2 years of clinical training.
You literally have to do 3,000 hours plus of one-on-one, face-to-face interactions with clients.
I chose social work. I wanted to help people in times of need.
BetterHelp has been a game changer across the board. If I just change one person, that's what wakes me up every morning.
When I started college, so many people warned me about credit cards. They just seemed really scary. When I needed a car, I realized that I needed to build credit. So I got the Chime Credit Builder card because I could safely build credit without being afraid of fees or interest. And there was no credit check. My score went up over 60 points and I bought my first car. As a busy college student, having a car is an absolute must. I feel like I could do anything. My next goal, a 700 credit score. Join me at chime.com.
Hey, wake up. The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes, I can. Move. Feel it. Hold on to this feeling. Yes, I can. Yes, I must. Watch me.
You know, it's really scary.
Popcorn with no butter.
No, getting insurance. I mean, what if the jargon makes me feel alone and in the dark?
Hey, at State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Sorry. Is that seat taken?
Get on up here, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Most wanted?
Yeah, for my cup of ale. I saw.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Price to pay. California on my license plate. Last year they knew. Put me on some. Put me on some. Put me on some.
Welcome back to Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium, where the Lions from Florida Memorial are on the move. They got a 2nd and 5 now, as we get set to start the fourth quarter, the fourth and final quarter of the day, we think. You never know in these days. So Antoine Williams, that quarterback, gives straight ahead, and they just move the pile. A good job. That looked like it was George Young inside on the carry. No, actually, that would be Keno Marset on the carry that time. So Keno is about 5'11", 200 pounds.
They clone him back there. They're just all the same.
They go quickly, and boy, he just about broke that one for a touchdown. It's a good tackle by the Tigers, but that was Keno on the carry again. Keno Marset got the first down and almost got a touchdown. This time the ball is loose. The snap is bad. Boy, that was very strange. You saw Marset not go for the football. He went for the Grambling Tiger instead of recovering the football. And so Grambling is going to recover the football after the snap.
Watch, both of them thought the other was going to get it, so they turned to block to help the other one pick up the ball. The first thing you do is pick up the ball.
Nori Johnson on the recovery. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. both men turn, you're exactly right, to block the oncoming rushers, and no one went after the ball. Yeah. Let's take another look.
Yeah, because you can see they're both running together, and I think they thought, okay, they got it. And no one got it, except a Grambling Tiger. Maury Johnson picking it up. That's just a mental error you just can't have. And both players, I'm sure, are just beside themselves.
Sometimes anticipation is good. That was one of those times when it's not.
Yes.
So the Grambling Tigers recover that football, and they will start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Crawley trying to scramble out of the pocket, just has to throw it in the ground. He had Josh Quiet coming underneath, but good pressure put on by the defense. I don't know if I've ever seen that play again. That was so weird. I mean, I was watching him, and I'm like, why is he not picking up the football?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I somehow was not seeing it right. I thought I needed new glasses.
Crawley on the day 12 out of 23 for 202 yards and the 3 touchdowns. This time he gives it to Elder. Elder has a seam. Elder into the secondary, still on his feet, finally dragged down at midfield. But Keelan Elder ripping off a big run right there.
You know, it's funny. Elder must have heard my thoughts because I was just going to say, one of these running backs from Grambling is going to have to pick it up and really ride this clock and help this team just close this game out.
Tigers go to Elder again, and this time he just gets over the 50 for probably got 2 yards on the play.
I'm surprised they ran that play so quick and not just trying to let some of this clock go out.
That big run by Elder was 30 yards into the seam. He ran off tackle and just got into the secondary. And, you know, you're right. You said earlier all these running backs are clones of each other, but you don't lose anything with whoever's in the backfield. And this time the nice fake by Crawley, but he had nowhere to go as the Lions made a big stop on the outside.
Crawley showing his toughness right there with his team, right? A lot of quarterbacks that lay down there a little bit longer after a couple of shots like that. He jumps right back up.
So Elder rushing for 30 yards on that play is going to up his stats a lot in this game. So he now has 6 carries for 57 yards, averaging almost 10 yards a pop, 9.5 yards a carry. As Grambling now has a 3rd and 10. Crawley near the sideline, complete to Quiet. That'll be his first down, and the Tigers will move the sticks.
What a great job. I mean, again, I thought they were just going to rely on the run. So much for me here. Great job there. And again, good read. Puts it right in there in between that defender coming backwards and the other.
Grambling going quickly again. The pass to Quiet right there. You saw the replay of it, but they hand the ball off inside to Elder, and he gets to the outside and is shoved out of bounds after another big run.
I'm surprised with the pace of Grambling, and I think what they're doing is they're saying, look, we're gonna work on us. We're gonna keep doing what we do to make sure we close this game out. We're not gonna try to change. So they're keeping the pace up regardless of trying to run this clock out.
But there was a flag down there, and the Tigers will be guilty of holding. So this one will come back. But there is something to what you're saying, because you look at this from an offensive standpoint. We have our momentum. We move the ball well when we go at a certain pace. And they may have decided, hey, we got a long ways to go, but we're going to stay at our pace and try to continue to move the football.
And plus, they have a lot to do to try to, to get better long term.
After the penalty, 1st and 15 now. Pass near the sideline is incomplete, but a great effort over there by J.R. Waters. Got his hands on that one, tried to pull it down, but it goes incomplete.
And again, I think the G-men are doing, why are they throwing? Why are they? I think they're still solidifying who they are. They've got, they wanted a lot to work on to get better in this game. And they're just going to keep pushing. And again, closing out. All these teams, you make a couple silly mistakes, and next thing you know, a game turns in a heartbeat.
2nd and 15. We have 11:49 to go in the game. Crawley with a nice fake, still has it, dumps it underneath to his big tight end, still on his feet, tiptoed down the sidelines, and that's a nice play right there for Kobadis Knighton making the catch. Backup tight
Watch
end.
Kobadis, he does right there, gets right off of him, and then does a great job catching and keeps his balance all the way to the end. First, I thought he was going to block, and I know that's what the Lions thought as well. He was going to block, and they started coming forward, and then he just separated, and nice little dump pass right over the top.
Have another player injured on the field. It's one of the Florida Memorial players. And while they take a look at him, we're going to take time to take a timeout in the booth. 11:32 to go. Grambling Tigers flexing their muscles out there. It's 37-16.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Doritos created Solid Black in 2021 to help fuel the initiatives of Black leaders seeking to drive real change. And this year, Doritos Solid Black is welcoming 16 new change makers to the program. We are Solid Black.
Huge play coming up.
Talking about dropping the ball.
I got the score.
Tostitos Hardy Dippers.
In 1920, an athletic league was formed and slowly became one of the leading sports associations in the world of collegiate athletics, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Today, the SWAC is looking towards the next century, growing, supporting, and transforming our intercollegiate sports activities for student athletes and promoting academic excellence. Each SWAC member institution represents a high level of integrity and sportsmanship. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Welcome back, everyone. The Grambling Tigers have the football and the lead in this ball game, 37-16 over Florida Memorial. Tigers facing a 3rd and 10. Miles Crawley is the quarterback. Good snap, good pressure too. He had no chance. Just had to unload that ball as fast as he could, but he had a defender right in his face. And I think that was number 25, Christian Mabel, the young man we were talking about earlier, but he looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, that looked like a sprint. I mean, it was just whatever it was, he found the hole, the gap, and went right through it. And Crowley did everything he could do just to get rid of it. But nice job getting rid of it and not taking the sack.
Yeah, there was no chance for that play to develop at all. So now we'll get another look at Jimmy Isles as he comes on to punt the football away. He's had a good day, one of the better punters in the SWAC. That one was almost blocked, though. His kick is long. It's going to hit at the 4 and bounce to about the 8-yard line. That's going to be a good job by Jimmy Isles right there to put Florida Memorial in a big jam again inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah, the Aussie, oi, oi, oi. He's getting it done, former rugby player there. They got some touch when those rugby players, right? Where to put it?
Yeah, a lot of spin on that ball. They know how to put that back spin on it. It was kicking backwards there, so good job. So we're going to see what Florida Memorial can do with the football. They've had a great running game in this ball game. You can't talk about both George Young and Walt Wilbon have both been very impressive running the football.
Yeah, whoever they give it to, it's been great. And again, that offensive line has done a nice job creating a few seams for them. And those running backs, when they see it, they explode right through it.
A lot of history in those helmets right there, man. You look at the G-men. And the pass is going to come from Williams. And it's going to be picked off. So Williams, in the first half, Smith had one picked, returned for a touchdown. This time, Antoine Williams has one picked. Pressure may have caused that.
Let's see, he throws it flat-footed. And Trent Henry does a remarkable job with the NFL-style interceptions with 2 feet in at full control.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Trent Henry over there with the body control. And again, he broke on the football. You know, pass might have been a tad late. Pressure was coming up the middle from Sykes.
You see how he kind of got flat-footed right before he flung the ball there? And it just didn't allow him to put as much steam on that ball. And he just flung it from the side, and it just, again, that's one you want to throw away.
So Grambling goes to Floyd. Floyd dancing in the hole, and he delivers a blow as he goes down at about the 8-yard line. So that's Floyd Chalk on the carry, showing off his strength. We've seen a lot of that. And how about that young man right there coming up with the INT? Trent Henry, the 5'11", 195-pound sophomore from Miami. And
Chuck is a load.
Another player down on the field, and we see a lot of that in the second half at this time of the year. You know, we're still in September. These guys are coming out of camp, but it's still really hot.
Well, there's a lot of combinations here, right? Your heart kind of gets hurt, and when you look at the scoreboard, it's harder to keep fighting. And then you got a guy like Chalk running over you like a train. That's tough. I mean, this has been a physical game. I don't know if we've talked about it enough. And again, the running backs have established how physical it is because on both sides, whether it's the Lions or the Tigers, both backs are incredibly physical. And when it comes to the point of contact, they lower and they're running like a ram. So you better be ready.
It's one of these physical type games where you can't really even have enough whirlpools at the end of the game.
Oh, no, there's not enough ice machines cranking out ice for you.
So the Tigers have a 2nd and short, call it 2nd and 1. Grambling knocking on the door. They have a big lead in this one, 37-16. Tigers go to the run again, and he takes it inside the 5, maybe down to the 2-yard line. That is Chalk again on the carry.
And they pull that lineman, run him right up the middle, and he runs right off behind him. Taj Martin led the charge there on a pull, and then he just cuts right off of him. Whichever way he hammers, he goes the opposite.
Well, you could give a tip of the hat to both offensive lines today, but the Grambling offensive line has really taken over here in the second half. Now, it's another call on the field, and Grambling may have taken too much time. No, it's a timeout on the field. Timeout, Grambling. You see Jarvis Walker marking down the timeouts. Make sure he stays up to date on that.
Yeah, and again, it continues kind of the ebb and flow of this game. But again, I think for Grambling, what's really been impressive to me is every time the Lions kind of took back control of the game, the Tigers answered, and not just answered, but quickly. Interception, return for touchdown, 2 plays and a touchdown, right? That was 14 points they answered right back when the Lions thought, okay, we can get back in this. We have time enough. We've got running backs cranking things up, and they just shut them down right there. And now this is an ultimate closeout drive here.
Yeah, Tigers knocking on the door here. Crawley gives it inside, and it's a touchdown for Grambling. Good run inside for the TD. I think it's, let's see, it's number 3. That would be Chalk again on the carry for the touchdown for the Grambling Tigers.
Boy, Chalk is low, man. He just, again, he runs. Watch, he just, right at the end, he just puts his head down and just rams forward. No one's going to stop him. 55 yards for him on the day, 6.1 a carry. 9 rushes for 55 yards.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job as they come out. Rinker to attempt the extra point. You can go down the list, man. You know, you have Elder with 62 yards, Chalk with 55, Chance Williams with 44. I mean, the running game is quite a force for the Grambling Tigers. So Rinker on the extra point attempt, and he drilled it. I mean, he put that all the way up the hill that time. I mean, he had some distance on that one. So we're going to pause for a timeout now. Grambling in the driver's seat. They lead it 44-16.
but I can never remember how to perfectly format my citations.
Just click Get Citation, and you'll have a full citation ready to copy, always formatted perfectly.
Perfect. I can even show I used Grammarly for paraphrasing.
Use AI tools without compromising your integrity.
Wow, that was fast. This thesis is solid.
94% of students say Grammarly helps improve their grades. Download Grammarly for free.
Let me be direct. Some people are paying more than double for teeth straightening with Invisalign. And then there's Smile Direct Club. You get a smile you love directed by one of their doctors with aligners sent directly to you. So the savings go directly to you. 60% less than Invisalign. And Smile Direct Club guarantees your smile for life. Your life. Choose Smile, choose Direct.
Smile Direct Club.
Smile Direct Club. Love that song.
It's hard to run a business on your own. With Shopify, you have everything you need to bring your dream business to life. Because when we work together, the future is bright. Start your journey with a free trial today.
We don't know any first responders who only give 90%. Or farmers, the workers who build our towns, roads, infrastructure. They don't stop at halfway. And good luck finding a small business owner who's happy with an 80% effort. That's why they use Ford trucks. Ford F-Series, 100% assembled in America. Because we're all in on America.
SWAC football on ESPN is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the SWAC. Home Depot, proud sponsor of the SWAC. And by Nike. Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas with you here in the Grambling Tigers in their first home game and their first appearance against Florida Memorial. Well, they're putting on quite a show for the home crowd. They lead at 44-16.
Yeah, I think it's party time here in Grambling, Louisiana. Everybody getting their groove on. We've seen it from the beginning of this game. They had a lot of anticipation of doing well. Started just a little slow off the top, but since then I think they've just been executing better and better, and that's the key. Playmakers have made plays. They've done well on both sides of the ball. Pretty balanced attack.
After the LSU game, the number one thing they wanted to do was improve on the defense, and I think you would have to say they did that today. So here we go on the kickoff return, and good coverage again by the Tigers, but a little bit of drive there in the leg, a little leg drive as he takes it all the way to the 28. That last drive, only 3 plays, 18 yards, and it took 1 minute and 4 seconds before we got the touchdown run for Chalk.
Yeah, and that was Wilbon on that return, and I was wondering, for a minute I didn't see his number. I was thinking, who's got that kind of drive? And sure enough, it's Wilbon. He carried an extra, 5-6 yards probably with a guy on your back and still running fast.
He's strong.
Impressive.
He's got a lot of strength.
I mean, he's had a whale of a day today. No question about it. He's come up big for his team the whole time. 118 yards, 7.9 is a carry for Wilbon.
So Antoine Williams has played most of the second half at quarterback. Back in action again. This time he'll give it to Keno Marset. And I think overall that Grambling defense, Coach Jackson's going to be pretty proud of the performance today. You know, we mentioned during our call how he talked about one thing that happened against LSU. He said LSU's a bigger team. They're supposed to win that game. But the thing he said we could have been a lot closer because we had so many miscommunications on defense that led to receivers being wide open, and that's something he wanted to fix, and obviously they've done a good job in fixing that.
Yeah, I think only twice today, really, we kind of saw defensive miscues, right, where it looked like defenders weren't in their right spot. And again, you can handle a mistake or a guy making a great catch, but when you have no one in the vicinity and you're not following instructions by your coaches, that's when coaches get upset. and players for that matter. I mean, you be where you're supposed to be. Yeah. Do your job, right? At the end of the day.
3rd down and 6. And Williams, his pass is caught, but what a big tackle by the Tigers. Nice job on the play.
Medrick Burnett Jr. right there getting some playing time, and what a stick there. Looks like a heck of a load himself. 6'2", 225 freshman.
Pretty big guy in there.
Lakewood, California.
And as you can see, punting team comes on for the Lions, so they will kick the ball back to the Tigers. Clock is at 8:20 and running. We can talk a little bit about Florida Memorial, too, because they came down here. It was going to be a tough trip for them for a lot of reasons, but they played a good game. But you got to think the Grambling Tigers wore them down. And here come the Tigers on the return. Britton, and he spun down right at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, they came with a heavy heart for sure this week. Had to be a really rough week to prepare, to get ready to go with the loss of one of their teammates late Sunday night. So, they all met and decided, as you talked about earlier, decided to play and play for him. And again, it's not about the scoreboard win, but about the effort. And I think the Lions had great effort today. Just missed a couple of opportunities, but effort certainly something they gave for their fallen teammate.
So Grambling with the handoff and a big gain on the play. And way to finish off that run. How about that run? That was number 6, Dejon Richard on the carry.
This is giving you an opportunity, Coach. And there was a great gap there. Boy, look at him just fly through that. Wow. That was a hole. Gerald Wells was trying to block for him, but he ran right by him.
And there you saw another quick play. So the Grambling Tigers are getting a lot of people in the action right now. That was Julian Calvez, the quarterback, the young man who started last year, started several games for the Tigers.
We saw him. He's got a lot of talent, certainly a lot of speed, and his growth, I'm sure, this year is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Well, he and Crawley actually fought for the job during camp. And another big one by the Grambling Tigers, and it's a touchdown. Number 6, Dejon Richard on the carry, and he gets into the scoring parade.
Talk about capping it off, right? Get some young guys out there. They get all excited, and they're able to cap off. And again, look at the offensive line block. There's 62 again, creating the huge hole, and he finishes it off.
Yeah, he did a good job of pulling around the corner there and getting his man. That is Gerald Wells, the big offensive lineman, all 315 of him. Does a good job of pulling the corner and opening that hole for Richard to take it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, from Columbus, Mississippi.
So Rinker back on to add another extra point for the Grambling Tigers. His kick is good. Grambling Tigers has dropped a 50-burger on Florida Memorial today. We're at 51-16, and boy, these guys are going to have some big muscles when we're done. We'll be right back.
Sleep well.
I can never remember how to perfectly format my citations.
Just click Get Citation, and you'll have a full citation ready to copy. Always formatted perfectly.
Perfect. I can even show I used Grammarly for paraphrasing.
Use AI tools without compromising your integrity.
Wow, that was fast. This thesis is solid.
94% of students say Grammarly helps improve their grades. Download Grammarly for free.
We all inherit a legacy. We evolve with time, but some things never change. Still crafted in the Northwest, still made with purpose, still carrying the fire. Over 125 years, we're still here. It's always been this way. Past, present, future, woven together.
I've always been prone to hair thinning. I'm genetically predisposed.
I just gave birth. I was under a lot of stress.
I started taking Nutrafol.
We test our formulations with the highest rigor of clinical trials, and we're the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
I noticed it becoming
Stronger and thicker.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
I am back to me.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
Hey, wake up. The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes, I can. Move. Feel it. Hold on to this feeling. Yes, I can. Yes, I must. Watch me.
Welcome back, everyone. The Grambling Tigers, as you can see, putting it on Florida Memorial today. 51-16 is the score. Time now for our player of the game. Today's player of the game presented to you by Gatorade. And who else but Miles Crawley? What a game did he have. 14-27, 220 yards, and 3 touchdowns passing, including a 67-yarder.
Yeah, he did a great job of making sure his playmakers received the ball and were able to turn that in to 6. Look at that one. Great play down the sidelines.
Nice block right there by Antonio Jones to spring him. That kind of day for the Grambling Tigers. Coming up with a big win in the home opener down in Grambling. Coach Hugh Jackson's going to take a lot of satisfaction out of this win. And he's going to tell his team we need to keep getting better and keep improving week after week after week. And what a big hit right there on the kickoff return. That was the young man you were talking about, number 10, Medrick Burnett Jr.
Whew.
Man, he laid some wood on him.
Bad intentions. That's him right there.
Well, I would not be surprised if they don't work him in somewhere. You know, he is a force. He's a linebacker. He's a young guy. You mentioned he's a freshman. But, boy, he's got to build on him.
6'2", 225, Lakewood, California, played at Mayfair High School. And he just came in a few plays, and you notice he's there. That's for sure. That's when you get excited about the future of your program, when you see that.
So Florida Memorial will go on offense from their own 16-yard line. Oh, another fumble in the backfield. The Tigers are after it, and instead it's recovered by guess who? It's recovered by number 10. It's the young man we were just talking about, Medrick Burnett Jr. 2 big plays back to back.
He's reading. You can't believe, look what's here. Was that the 4th turnover, I think, from Florida Memorial today? 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
They're not doing a good job here in the second half because the 2 INTs were in the second half, and now we've seen 2 fumbles in the second half. And both of them were like, you know, they didn't have a chance to recover. The Tigers had easy recoveries on both fumbles, and now the G-men are knocking at the door again. This time, the keeper right there, he takes it in for the touchdown. That is the backup quarterback, Julian Calvez, on the keeper. And the touchdown.
He went in with style as well. You see that? Because that's one thing I remembered about him. He's got such speed. He's got long legs. He covers a lot of ground. Doesn't look like he's exploding, but watch. He is just churning up the ground there. He even slowed down towards the end. Did a little flip at the end.
So Julian Calvez gets into the scoring parade today. As Jorge said, he did start several games for the Tigers last year. Rinker's getting a lot of practice in this one. Isles will hold. And back up the hill we go. The Grambling Tigers with another big extra point. Grambling running away with this one now. Tigers way out in front, 58-16.
Hey, wake up. The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes, I can. Move. Feel it. Hold on to this feeling.
University, we believe in running towards challenges, not away from them. We believe that one person can change countless lives. We believe in giving our everything to everyone. Because most of all, we believe in always being there for each other. If you believe in that too, join our community of 140,000 strong and become who you're meant to be. Chamberlain University, belong to something greater.
In my book, saving while shopping is a no-brainer, so I use Rakuten to get cash back while I'm book clubbing. Cha-ching! With Rakuten, I get cash back at over 3,500 stores. So how does that work? Well, stores pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. Then, Rakuten shares that money with us in a check or PayPal payment. It's free and easy.
I think you're missing the plot.
And I think you're missing the cash back.
Cha-ching.
Let me be direct. Some people are paying more than double for teeth straightening with Invisalign. And then there's Smile Direct Club. You get a smile you love directed by one of their doctors with aligners sent directly to you. So the savings go directly to you. 60% less than Invisalign. And Smile Direct Club guarantees your smile for life. Your life. Choose Smile, choose Direct.
Smile Direct Club.
Smile Direct Club. Love that song.
We all inherit a legacy.
Welcome back, everyone. But Alcindor and Jorge Vargas, and as you can see, Grambling Tigers have really come around here in the second half. They are out in front, 58-16. And what a halftime. We're getting a shot of the band there. It reminds me of the halftime show we had. Always an entertaining halftime show in the SWAC, and the Grambling band did not disappoint today.
They were sharp. But I'll tell you that Florida Memorial Band, he's got to play a different song and pep them guys up to get them through this one. And again, if you're Florida Memorial, you just want to see some execution here, right? I think you just got to play their game, get some execution, come out with something positive.
Well, and as they return the kickoff, and he's going to get over the 20, maybe to the 21-yard line, they would start with hanging on to the football. That would be the first thing, because that hasn't happened here in the second half. Yeah. That's been a big factor for Florida Memorial in this one. And that, for Grambling, that is what Coach Jackson wanted to see. He wanted to see his team forcing some turnovers as Jackson Marcette made the return on the kickoff for Florida Memorial.
I think he's seen everything he wanted to see in this game, except for a little bit cleaner start off the beginning. But I think he's seen a lot of good things. But again, there's plenty of things that he's going to be able to point to. It's always much better, obviously, to win a game and be able to say, here's what we need to improve on, right, than lose a game and then everything feels totally different. It's something to build upon. I think they played a really solid game. And again, they had multiple people step up. And that's when you got a one player step up and lead you to victory, that's one thing. When you got a bunch of people, that solidifies your team a lot quicker because more people are active in that victory.
So they pick up the flag after the penalty against Florida Memorial. So that moves them all the way back to the 10-yard line after the penalty. They put Marcette in motion, and they give straight away to Young, and that time he had no room at all. So Young is spun down in the backfield. So you definitely had that right. Turnovers and penalties have really plagued the Lions here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and again, they lost their focus. I think they tried to try to do too much, and then they just lost their focus, and then, mistakes happen.
Give is to Young again. And he's brought down in the crowd there, almost a face mask call, but he took the handoff in time. So George Young on the carry now, getting himself a couple of looks with the football. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7. We're at the 5:20 mark to go in this ball game.
And I mean, Young, a good game, 5.2 a carry at 52 yards, 10 carries so far. I mean, he's run hard.
A lot of new players into the game for Grambling on defense. As Antoine Williams passes, has a man open, and that's a touchdown, that's a first down, and then he slipped down. That's Keon Brown, the freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, making that catch.
Yeah, I think he did that. He just cut with the wrong foot, or his foot got sideways on that turf and just could not. If he could have, it would have been electric to see what would have happened there.
First and 10 for the Lions, and another big run. You can see George Young still running hard. You know, I don't know as a player if I've ever been involved in a game this lopsided. I think that's very fortunate.
Yeah, it's fortunate for you.
I take that back. There was one game we were playing, and we were playing a team, and the mascot was a horse, and they would score, and they'd bring the horse out on the field, and the horse would jog around the field, and we weren't doing too well defensively. And I remember our defensive coordinator coming over and saying, "You know what, fellas? Y'all going to kill that horse if y'all don't start playing some defense out here." So, I mean, that kind of gets the message around. That poor horse was huffing and puffing and all that stuff around. So I had to take my words back. And I do kind of remember a game similar to this. Maybe not quite like this, but it was similar to this.
I remember a couple of ones worse than this one. So, yeah.
So here we go. First and 10 now. 3:35, and the clock is ticking. Williams looks like he may be the better passer of the two quarterbacks for Florida Memorial. It's kind of tough to tell. We didn't see Saquon Smith throw the football very much. And another give up the middle. So right now, look at George Young go. Excuse me, that is the big fella, Wilbon. Young goes out of the game, and Wilbon snuck in there, number 9 in the backfield now.
He's something else.
Like you were saying, you could tell just by his leg drive whether or not he's in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he just, you can tell when, and look at the sheer, it's like a car wreck. He's, that's 1-2. That's what I could, it's just 1-2. He wants to score. Another run by Wilbon, and he just runs over a couple of defenders over there. He wants you to know that you tackled him. Right? Marquise Britton was one of the guys who tried to slow him down, but he just kept churning forward. 135 yards right now. 7.9 a carry. Get my game ball if he's a Lion, that's for sure. Lions fake it to Young. Throwing back near the sidelines. It's a completed pass, and that is complete to Jackson Marset, who made the catch. Under 2 minutes to go in the game now. And again, for the Lions, this is about execution. Trying to bring something positive back with you. The receiver lined up offsides. Yeah, he was a foot off. He was a yard offside. Here comes a big run by Young. That was a little bizarre because there was no call there, and there is an official who handles the line of scrimmage. He's right there. That's all right. George Young. George Young getting a workout here in the second half as the Lions continue to run the clock. We're down to 1:08 to go, and they're going to keep letting it go. Tigers jumped on defense, and here comes the flag. He didn't want to throw it, but he did. It's an incomplete pass, and it may have been defensive interference in the end zone. So both penalties look like they're going to go against the Tigers. Yeah, and it's once one flag came out, all of a sudden it was a laundry list flying out. You're right, Butch. I think it's certainly offsides, and then I think the defensive interference. Take another look. Yeah, he never turned around. Never turned around. Yeah. It was kind of almost a true face guard there, actually, right there. Well, they get a first down here, and they took the defensive interference. So first and goal to go now for the Lions. Under a minute to go in the game, 58 seconds. Give us to Young, and Young stacked up and then dropped. So that Tigers defense is still hustling over there. Number 44, Michael Garner
in the backfield making the stop for Grambling.
30-second timeout. Call by Florida Memorial. Please put 52 seconds on the game clock.
Yeah, that was a home-cooked clock. The clock kept rolling from 52 seconds to 44 after the timeout.
Florida Memorial called timeout, and the official was right there on the spot. And
there you go, 52 seconds back on there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wilbon come back out there and let him cap off with a touchdown. The way he runs, angry, I think it's you let him go get some of that anger out before you have to get on a long bus ride or plane heading home. That man's going to be exhausted.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of, obviously Miles Crawley was our player of the game by far. He had a great game, but if you had to pick somebody on defense, boy, was that Lewis Matthews.
Oh.
Did he set the tone, and did he make some plays? And in fact, the interception return for a touchdown may have capped the game off, so he did a fantastic job. And Young carries again, and he's in for the touchdown. George Young puts it in for a late touchdown for Florida Memorial. It'll look good on the stats, but it won't be too much for this ball game. The Grambling Tigers have come out and played a really impressive second half.
Yeah, Lewis, you talked about him, 11 total tackles for him. He played a whale of a game, and you're right, that interception, I think that was kind of like this ain't happening today, Lions. We're closing this out.
Well, the timing of it was just a perfect way to just kind of put his team on track to where they needed to be. It just kind of changed the tempo of the entire game where things were going at that point. Apparently, Florida Memorial is going to go for 2 here after making changes. Substitutes come onto the field. And there was something about that play. They were trying to run a trick play, obviously, and nobody was on page with what they were supposed to do that time.
Yeah, the timing of that, it was supposed to be a direct snap to the running back, it looks like, as the quarterback was pretending to make some kind of change. It just didn't happen.
Well, they took too long to get the personnel out there to start with. When it takes that long, if you're on defense, you know something's going on.
Yeah.
And it just didn't, maybe at this point it's 58-22. You kick the extra point and we all move on.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could say is I guess it's the only way to practice that under live fire.
And now we're going to kick the extra point. So 46 seconds to go here in the ball game. Serge is on to kick the extra point. Serge Champagne, and it's going to be blocked again. Ball is loose. And the Tigers, one Tiger was getting away from it. It's picked up now by Grambling. That's a live ball. That is a live ball and a big return by the Grambling Tigers. Yeah. How about that? I saw one Grambling player just trying to stay away from it, and somebody realized, no, that's a live ball. Looks like it was David Jones who picked it up for the Grambling Tigers. So Serge had 2 blocked today.
University, the Tigers, 58.
Yeah, and again, those fire drills like that are always dangerous because there's just people taking shots all over the place when that happens. And again, you're right. At first, 47 right there just kind of steps away, and then they're like, no, man, it's a live ball. I'm going.
Quentin Talley with a big block on the play, man. He really looked like he was spiking a volleyball.
Whew. Sure did. And again, they got through pretty unscathed.
So that was interesting, and they decided to go for 2, and obviously that didn't go. It led to an illegal procedure penalty. So then you got to go back to do the PAT, and then that kind of went off too. So all in all, you look at the score, not a very good day for Florida Memorial, but in a lot of ways it was. They came out, played a really good first quarter. They were very competitive. Like you kept mentioning, their running game was outstanding.
It was really, really good. And again, their effort was fantastic. Again, just things get it when sometimes games just get that way. Some things snowballs, a couple mistakes, and it gets out of hand. I think, for them, they'll have a lot to look at to grow and to get better from. And then for Grambling, I think, hey, this gets them a win, obviously, but a positive win in so many aspects of their game, grew and got better. And they'll take this with them and try to even get better from here.
Well, that ball didn't want to go out of bounds.
No.
Looked like a bunt down the third baseline that just wouldn't go foul.
That's what I was going to say.
So the Tigers will finish it off with this drive.
And I'm guessing 2 knees, and then we're done. Unless something crazy happens here.
Let's take a look through the final stats for the Grambling Tigers. You see Crawley, our player of the game, 14 of 27 for 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, only sacked twice today. And you looked at the receivers. Williams had the big day receiving. Of course, he's the one who had that 67-yard touchdown. Williams, 3 catches for 102 yards.
Yeah, that's certainly what you want. And then, Elder, his rushing, 62 yards. 8.9 a carry. I mean, a real good collective win. A lot of guys did a lot of good. No absolute just superstar, but just great play from your whole team. And honestly, as a coach, that's probably your best style of win, right? You don't want it to depend on someone. You want everybody stepping up at different types of the game. I thought defensively, Sundiata Anderson, even though his stats may not be, he was a force the entire game, certainly early. He put lots of pressure and kept their quarterbacks on their heels.
He's an interesting story because Coach said, we mentioned how he gained the 25, 30 pounds in the offseason. He feels like he can play on the next level, and he's already getting the attention. You look at this, he's on the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list. He's on the East-West Shrine watch list. He's on the Buchanan Award watch list. So he's going to get out there, and you expect to see him do bigger and better things as the season go along. There's Coach Hugh Jackson there with his first win of the season. He gets it in his home opener. Can you quickly just give me some of your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, again, Grambling's certainly going to be able to grab what happened in this and build on it and get ready for conference play. I think it's important for them because right now it's no matter what happened before this, it's where you go from here. And, again, their eyes are set on getting, getting into that conference championship game and really doing well in conference. And so it was what they needed, and they did it well.
What a day it was for the Grambling Tigers. So for Jorge Vargas and our entire crew, I'm Butch Alcindor saying so long from Grambling.